up, guys? Welcome to the part 2 episode of the live stream. How's everybody doing tonight? What's up, Brandon? Welcome to the show. I would like to formally introduce Brandon. Hello, Brandon.
Hey guys, what's going on?
How are you?
Pretty good.
So welcome to the show, guys. I would like to, let's hang out here tonight. Everybody's safe at home, washing their hands with their loved ones and whatnot, and being safe and entertained with whatever it is that you can entertain with yourself with during these very strange times. So, all right, there we go. You see Brandon Constant there. Of course, Brandon is a pioneer builder with building the best movie cars around that you've seen. He has a Ford Explorer tour vehicle right behind him that you can see. A special guest. Ford Explorer right there, tour vehicle. Was it 04, right?
04, yeah.
04, yes. And you also might know him as the owner of Jurassic Park Jeep forums on the internets. So let's give a shout out to all the people that are on with us tonight. What's up, DKD Life? Hello, Epic Movie Cars. Kevin Kostick, what's up? Hugo Canales, 1994. He's a big fan of The Lost World, so it's good to have him on. I'd like to hear some of his insights on this as well. Hello, IKH Nathan. Hello, Irais Portillo. That's my sister. Hello, sister. Family Squad. Jonathan Raft. Very cool guy. Welcome, Jonathan Raft, to the show. Jurassic Dave 93. Awesome guy. Takes really cool photographs of collectible toys like Jurassic Park and a lot of vintage toys as well. Mirari Montez. That is my better half and also known as my fiance. And Mick1WV, welcome. And Mr. Awesome Sauce is another fellow Texas member in Corpus Christi. Welcome. Plain Jane YJ, very cool build that he has as well. Rex Tapia, welcome. He's actually, I think, a guy that I met on a discussion about The Lost World. I'm very curious to see what he has to say about the movie cars of this one as well. What's up, Southpaw Guitars? He's also a Houstonian, local Houstonian as myself, building a Jurassic Park Jeep. Steven Stone has built a very nice one of these, the truck version of the ML, so I'm glad to have him on. And Xander Zores, welcome to the show. I've been friends with him for a couple of years now. He posts a lot of cool stuff on his Instagram, so you should give him a follow. All right, so guys, again, sorry for the long intro, but just want to make sure that everybody gets a shout out and, just kind of show my appreciation for you guys to come in to hang out and kind of sharing our passion together, hanging out, watching these different movies, obviously, and just talking about it, because that's one of the most things that most of us are very passionate about is the movie cars of this film franchise. So on that note, Brandon, you want to add anything else while I get this thing started?
No, I think we're good. This time looks like it's going more smoothly than last time. But
Yep, this is version 2, so we worked out a couple of kinks. So now hopefully this thing goes on with minimal issues. So let's get started onto The Lost World Jurassic Park, released in 1997. And here we go. On the first thing you can see here, actually, let me move these things around here. Toss you over here. This is a boat, right? It's a boat. And on this specific boat, it's interesting because if you look at the boat in the big giant ship in the 2015 Jurassic World, you'll notice that they look very, very similar. And this one here is actually I think it was impounded? It was like impounded in some shipyard in Hawaii because I guess they didn't pay their storage fees. So from what we know, it's sitting kind of deteriorating where it sits, and it had a very, very sad ending to it, because I'm pretty sure at this point, I mean, it's probably better just to get rid of the boat than to try to salvage it at this point. Do you know any other information about this one?
Well, apparently it became like an eyesore
Yeah.
Like the locals complained about it because it had fallen into like disrepair, and yeah, it just became a piece of junk. And yeah, I guess it pretty much got like condemned, yeah, almost, or
Yeah.
possessed by the state or whatever, so or something like that, or they were forced to sell it or something like that, or demolish it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few articles, like news articles from Hawaii about this.
Yep. So,
So it's
yeah,
sad.
it is sad because I mean, it wasn't a huge piece of this movie, but it was in the film.
Hmm.
So it's pretty sad to see where it ended up now.
Yeah, it would have been cool if like a private, whoever privately owned it would have at least kept it nice or something, and someone, that'd be a really cool thing to say. Yeah, this boat was in this movie or something. I mean, it did have value,
Yeah.
but I guess once it gets so far gone that, I mean, it's like a house or something.
Yeah.
It's once stuff is rotting and
And then I'm
it's
sure I'm sure to repair like a boat, I'm sure it's pretty
yeah.
expensive to fix something like that.
Hmm.
I would look at Jurassic Classic has joined the conversation. I was just wondering about you. I thought he wasn't gonna make it, and he says he got locked out my house and told the locksmith to hurry up because I had to watch the stream. Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, man, you better be here because yeah, I mean, this is it's just nothing without the Jurassic Classic, right, Dwight? And I see Philip Daly has joined us as well. What's up, Philip Daly? He works at Universal Studios, the theme park in Orlando. And but I do miss you, Philip. I miss the theme park, and hopefully sooner than later we can be reunited once again. All right, moving
Hmm.
on to the next photo. And we have a yawning or screaming like a woman. Jeff Goldblum here with this very beautiful Hawaiian backdrop. I just had to put that in there. Anyways, next photo. Okay, so this next photo is it's an overhead shot of the workshop where they were I guess assembling the
Hmm.
vehicles in the movie, and this is like one of my top three favorite shots of the whole movie, because it's an overhead shot and you get like this different view of each different vehicles, and most importantly, as you can see, there's three Mercedes MLs in the lineup right here, and but on when they go to the island, there's only two. If you look, this is the first one right here. So on this one, this first one right here, this has like little boxes on the doors and on the hood, and this is the only one that didn't make it to the island. Is that right, Brandon?
I believe it's that one. Yeah, yeah. There's two versions. There's one with the little dome on the back, and then but yeah. So there's actually an interesting screenshot I've seen. What was the girl's name? Kelly?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there's a shot when they're watching the helicopters come in. I don't think it was in the movie. I think it was like a behind the scenes thing where she's sitting on the hood, and it has that like that box on the hood, which every other shot in the movie, well, on the island doesn't have that box on it. So
Yeah.
yeah, just looking at that reminds me that I wish I would have
I
grabbed that
remember I
shot. But
remember
yeah,
seeing
it's
that
interesting.
photo, but it wasn't that one. I had read that it was like photoshopped or something.
Was it?
Is that true? I don't know. I remember
It
seeing
looked
something about
legit.
being photoshopped. I don't know. I have to look at it again. But I do remember it was the scene that they when they were sitting on the island in front of the RV with the
Hmm.
vehicle, and she was laying on top of the hood, and she was laying like over the box, right?
Yep. And then, yeah, I mean, it's not that vehicle that you see in the rest of the movie. Like it was just that one shot. I don't think it was in the movie. Yeah, I think it was like a behind the scenes or like a production photo or
Yeah.
something. But
Yeah. Maybe.
still interesting because they filmed that on location. So they, I'm assuming they shipped it over there. So
Yeah. So, heading over to the chat, looks like Mick1WV is asking, guys, do movie vehicles go up for auction? Why do they not go to movie museums? Well, I believe a lot of movie vehicles do go for auctions. I know our buddy Scott Velvet over at the Branson Movie Car Museum, he buys several from auctions or people that he knows that has them that work in production. And also he puts a lot of his vehicles up for auction. So, but I feel like back in these days, and this is something me and Brandon talked about the other day, is we feel like back in the day, like movie cars and props weren't, I guess, as
Coveted.
popular, right?
Yeah, they yeah,
As yeah, I feel like now it's more popular now
more of a
to do
thing.
collecting. Yeah, it's more of a thing to collect props than before, and that's probably why a lot of these vehicles didn't really go to. I mean, didn't really go anywhere. Universal just kept them. They kept them on their back lots in the weather, in the rain, in the sun, and they just let them deteriorate. And when they get so bad to where they're no longer they become a public hazard, then they get rid of them, which is pretty sad. So that doesn't. Yeah, that's a little strange to me.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it's the internet as well. I mean, I think a lot of these things went up for auction or whatever, back in the day, but
Yeah,
like you had to know where to go, you had to look in the newspaper and stuff. I don't know if you have you watched that documentary on the ruby slippers from The Wizard of Oz?
I've heard of it. I think I've seen bits and pieces of it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, you should watch it. I mean, it's even if you don't really care for the movie or whatever, but what's her name? Debbie Reynolds. Um she liked, she loved the movie props and stuff. And when I think it was Warner Brothers, no, I'm sorry, not Warner Brothers, MGM, they sold off a lot of their extra warehouses and stuff, and they were full of props and costumes, and they didn't throw them away, but they had like a fire sale type of thing. They just,
yeah,
very impromptu kind of auction thing where you could go and buy these things. And I guess, yeah, Debbie Reynolds, like, she went in there and bought a bunch of this stuff. And but yeah, I mean, that was
yeah.
something.
I did hear about that, and also one pair of the ruby like production ruby slippers were actually given away in a contest.
Yeah, yep, that was part of the documentary. But
Yep.
I think just the internet has really shed a lot of light on prop collecting, because I think before you had to know where to look. It was like an inside thing. I mean, it wasn't plastered everywhere. Now, if the ruby slippers were to go on sale, it would be all over Facebook. It would be, I mean, you have all these bidders and interests. But back then, it was like kind of a niche thing. You really had to know about it. And you mentioned something about selling movie cars too. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I've heard that like Warner Brothers, like, they'll sell some of their cars, like Batmobiles and stuff, but they make you sign an agreement that you'll never drive
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I did hear
So
about that. I did hear about. Um, I think it Warner Brothers and the
I
Batmobile
think
that they said that
so.
that they were selling one of their vehicles, but part of like the agreement and the contract was this vehicle will not be allowed to be driven on the
Mhm.
roads.
Right. Which would be okay for a museum or if you wanted to tow it
Yeah,
somewhere, but
but
most
sitting in your
people,
garage, like,
yeah.
what are you gonna
I
do
mean,
with it?
yeah, most people who would want a movie car would want to drive it, and there's so much liability there. You got to think of it. I mean, the Explorer, the
Yeah,
MLs, they're heavily modified. Like, it's just a liability. So it makes sense why they kind of keep them in house, and it's all they're wasted away. But we got some questions here too.
yeah. Let's go
This
over
is
to the chat. What do we got?
um Mick, VW says, any vehicle related damage in the 2009 Universal Fire? I don't believe so. I think that was like mostly like
Yeah,
some of
that
the sets and
yeah.
the film vault,
It
like they had
was
a
it
film
was
vault.
yeah, it was like the vault with a lot of like original films, like really really old films, and I think some props. But I
Hmm.
don't think any vehicles were destroyed. I mean, not like any better would be would come of those vehicles sitting outside their lot, but for the most part, I'm not sure if I don't think any vehicles were damaged.
Yeah, and I think the worst part of that fire too was those film reels are made of like cellulose, I think is what it is, or something like
Mm,
that, and it's extremely flammable. So
yeah,
basically, I mean, that's what really fueled that fire so bad, was the film prints that were so flammable that they just went up. And yeah, that's unfortunate.
yeah. So Papeton Pictures says he's currentently working on a replica of the AEV Montana, which I'm assuming is this one, right? The Montana one, or is it? I don't even know the names of each one. I think one of them is the Montana, the Fontana, and then the Santana or something. I don't know.
Santana. Yeah, I always call them like the observatory one, like
Hmm.
the one with like the little bubble, I
Yeah, the
guess.
truck and the truck version
And
of
then
it.
and the truck one, and then the other one. I don't normally um name them by their names, but
Yeah, so I guess there is a Santana one. So I guess my joke actually became real. So the Santana's the pickup, the Montana's the bubble roof and bubble dome. Had the baby one with the baby Rex was as the Fontana. So the one with the
mm,
baby Rex is my favorite, the Fontana, which is the one back here.
hmm.
Um, yeah, and so anything else?
Okay, there we go. Yeah, Hugo says Hugo. Yeah, Montana's the bubble.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, bubble dome. Yeah, which okay, yeah, Rex Montana. Okay, yeah, tire carrier. Yeah, but they never put the tire on top, right? In the movie,
No,
it was
yeah,
never.
they never did. It looks like
Yeah,
it's for a tire, and I think it was supposed to have it, but it was never shown in any scene holding a tire.
yeah. I know there's a bunch of concept art with it. I've
Yeah.
seen concept art and
Uh,
the production notes. He's also mentioning too.
oh yeah. Okay. So yeah. So Peyton Pictures is so he's already built the he's the guy that has the ML with that did a photo shoot with Steven Stone, which had who has the truck version of the ML. So I know exactly
Hmm.
who that is now. Is Dorian Paint. Dorian Paint.
Yeah, yeah. I suppose this is an interesting build because they all have their qualities. Like it's yeah. Like the pickup one's cool because it's I don't know. It's very modified,
Yeah.
but it's not very practical because it's open air. But then, but it's easier because you don't have to make like the fiberglass like back part. You don't have to make a complex bubble. Um, but then it's all open too. So
Yep.
yeah, it's that would be a tough choice deciding which one to do. I
Yeah.
guess it
I
depended on how
want to
much
do
time.
one. I definitely want to do one day. I would love to do this one up here that carried the baby T Rex.
Yeah,
But
that's probably one of the more
I mean,
yeah.
and then this one, honestly, this one's growing on me so much. Like, it's a truck version, which is really interesting to look at. It's very unique, and
Hmm.
it's probably a little more simpler to build as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
maybe
I would agree. That would be
I'd probably
easier.
consider that one, honestly. The other one just has way too much, fiberglass work that I can't
Hmm.
really do. So you're gonna have to do it for me, Brandon. Okay, cool, cool. All right, you heard it here, guys. He said yes.
Hmm.
Okay, so let's see. I saw somebody here. Oh yeah, so that yeah, Mick1WV says he read an article. The man bought the Fleetwood RV and now sits in his yard. Yeah, and that was Frank. It's a guy that lives in France. He had bought it and started to slowly restore it, and then I think somebody in Japan. I believe it was Tokyo Comic Con or something, and they apparently I'm not too sure, but from what I've heard is they purchased it, so now it's for sure it's in Japan somewhere, and
Hmm.
hopefully that whoever bought it gives it a good home and restores it, very nicely because that thing was. I saw pictures of it when they first got it, and that thing was
Hmm.
terrible.
Well, it needs to be kept inside, but it's so massive
It's
that
huge.
like,
You need a
how would you
warehouse.
do that? Yeah.
Yep.
So that's tough.
Yep. Okay. So let's move on to the next photo here. And we have the fabulous Jeff Goldblum here, and you can see concept art. I like this photo here because it shows this is real concept art right here of the RV.
Hmm.
And you can actually, I think you can actually get a better quality image of that on like on Google or something. I think
Yeah.
there's like a scan version of it there. All right, moving on. Oh, actually, there's some more artwork right here. I never noticed that.
Oh
In
yeah.
these like white sheets at the bottom, there's you
Hmm.
can see the ML. It's like a pencil sketch or something. That's pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I never noticed that.
Okay. All right, moving on to the next image. We have everybody hanging out here in the shop. Here's the truck version, and then I just wanted to talk about these little boxes here for a second. A lot of people were asking if they're like toolboxes or something, and it was created to look like a toolbox, but it's just like what hollow fiberglass, right?
It appears to not open or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it's been modified. I mean, the original boxes that are at Islands of Adventure and the ones that are in at Hollywood at the on the back lot, they don't appear to open or anything, which makes sense. It's just supposed to look like something. I
Yep.
mean, it's just a prop, so.
And you can see in one part of the film whenever Nick Van Owen is coming around the back of the truck to get water for the fire that was the campfire. You can see he kind of like grazes it a little bit, and it just goes like this. It like kind of bounces. You can as you can
Oh
tell that
yeah,
it's like this empty silicone. I'm not silicone, fiberglass
fiberglass.
box. So if you watch the movie, you can see that thing moves around. Like I mean, it's not even bolted down or anything. It's just kind of sitting on top there, bolted in a weird
Crazy.
way. Okay, moving on to the next. Oh, what did I do here? Zoom out. Okay, and then we have the interior of the RV. As you can see, her reaction would be my reaction walking through that
Hmm.
beautiful mobile lab. I remember being a kid watching this movie in theaters and seeing the RV because I don't know why, but I was like a fan of RVs when I
Hmm.
was younger, like vans and RVs. And I remember seeing this in the movie, and it's like, wow, this is. I mean, this is like when it comes to the Lost World. Uh, they absolutely raised the bar when it comes to custom vehicles. I mean, look, they built an entire RV and customized this thing. So they got Jurassic Park, they got the vehicles. Think of Jurassic Park and the vehicles there. They were modified, yes, they were customized, and the Explorer was pretty nicely customized. But then they come to the next one and they bump it up like 20
Hmm.
notches and like just went all out with custom vehicles. And that's one of the things that I keep talking about that like I mean Colin Trevorrow should know this that the fans want custom vehicles. That was like one of the main characters aside from the dinosaurs in the original film was the vehicles. They stood out so much and they got you around the park and I feel like they've disconnected from that, and then now it's just like a Mercedes commercial where
Hmm.
and it's sad because for Jurassic World they loaned out Mercedes loaned out those vehicles for them to use. And that's why none of them were ever destroyed. Like I was sitting there at the edge of my seat. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see one of these expensive, awesome G wagons just get thrown off a cliff. And it never happened.
No.
It never happened.
Yeah, I think the most commercial moment in Jurassic World was when Claire's driving and she's on the
Oh
phone,
yeah, that was
and yeah,
terrible.
and they like pan into it. Like I was like, okay, all right, yeah. And it was like some SUV. What was it? Is it the new M class? I don't know what it was.
Yeah,
I don't
it
even
was like
care if it's too far.
yeah, it was like some giant SUV thing
Yeah,
supposedly.
and it
So,
was very commercially. Like they could tell it was almost like the Coke scene too, where Owen's
yep,
like drinking the Coca-Cola like a commercial. I don't know. It was very the product placement was definitely more apparent
yep,
in Jurassic World than it was in the other movies.
yep,
But
absolutely.
but yeah, like the Lost World, like the reason I really loved the RV and stuff is, growing up as a, when I was a kid, I liked technology and computers and stuff. And this was
Hmm.
like both. It was like it's like camping and outdoors type of thing, with
Yep,
the off-road stuff, but with all like technology and, like glamping almost or something. Like it was very high tech. So yeah, that's why I really liked it,
yep.
the RV and the MLs.
Yeah, I completely agree. Let me look over at the chat here, see if anybody's asking any questions. So Mick1WV says he still has his RV from Kenner. When I
Mm.
in my birth when I turned I don't know what age I was, but on my birthday when that movie was out, I remember my mom. Shout out to my mom. She bought me the RV for my birthday, and it was my favorite toy ever until I guess one day I grew up and didn't play with them anymore, which is pretty
Yeah,
sad.
it was definitely one of the more elaborate toys. I mean, I
Yeah.
remember the visitor center was pretty cool, but like this was like the visitor center but with wheels. Like you could drive around and stuff. Like it was more like, I don't know, like it was more action
Yep.
based, as a kid, and I like that. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have mine either. Like I lost about 90% of my Jurassic Park toys are gone now, but I still have some. I have some figures, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I have like some of the like action, like the people, and then I have some dinosaurs, but I don't have any of my original vehicles, unfortunately.
Yep. Okay, moving on. So on this scene here, also a favorite. So we have the ship carrying the vehicles, and it's so awesome how I mean that must be a pretty large boat because this RV
Hmm.
is massive,
Yeah, it's like a
and then
ferry. Looks like a ferry
yeah,
boat.
yeah. So this thing is
Hmm.
pretty large, and for it to see this scene, as you can see here now, there's only two of the vehicles. It's missing the one with the little boxes on the hood. Um, so yeah, so this is I like this scene a lot.
I guess that makes sense, but there's no driver, right? Because Sarah went ahead of time. But I mean, do you think they would have like brought another vehicle or something? I saw someone talking about that, like, oh, well, they didn't bring it because there's no driver. But I'm like, well, Sarah's already there. Wouldn't they bring? Because I'm trying to think. Well, there's, yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yep. I mean, I still think it's kind of weird how she went alone. I don't understand why you would
Hmm.
go alone to an island full of dinosaurs, especially with no vehicle. You know.
Hmm.
Okay. And the next scene we have Vince Vaughn, which upsets me the fact that he's in this movie. I'm not, I'm not a big fan of Vince Vaughn. He has a couple movies that are
Really?
okay.
Yeah.
He has a couple movies
I
that are okay, but
Wedding Crashers was
he's
good. I like Wedding
yeah, one of
Crashers.
one of the very few. Wedding Crashers was a decent movie, but I mean he's the same character in every movie. Like that's just him. And
Hmm.
and this movie, I'm just like, it's like it was almost like it was like an accident that he was in this movie, especially with a role that big. Because
It was one of his first
at the time,
movies.
yeah, at the time it was one of his first movies, and for him to have this type of role in a Spielberg movie like this, like that's pretty impressive. It's like I said, I think he probably got on there
Hmm.
like by accident or something.
I think you're almost supposed to not like him a little bit. Remember? Because he's, I don't
I
know, like,
guess.
I mean, he's a good guy, but he's kind of like a, we call it like a activist, but like goes too far or something, like, I think he's supposed to be kind of a controversial character, I think, right? Because he kind of created all
Yeah.
the problems essentially, right? I mean, but it was under direction of Hammond as well, right?
Yep.
I, I don't know. I mean, I think it's supposed to be kind of a mixed feelings type of character.
Yep. And here you can see the the ML and the little details on it, and I just this is why I like these vehicles so much because the builders put so much work and
Hmm.
detail into every little piece here, and even has like this fake snorkel up here, which I think looks pretty cool as well. And then has like this nice bubble roof, like just like the Explorer had.
Hmm.
And so that's pretty cool. And then the little rear section of the bubble roof, and it has motorized searchlights, just like
Hmm.
JP12 from the first movie. So this is why I like this car so much, and
Hmm.
because they put so much work into it.
It's a different brand though. They're Go Lights versus
Yeah,
like
they're
the
yeah,
Jabco ones.
yeah,
But
yeah. The Go lights are the ones that you probably see on like city trucks.
they're more
Um,
common.
yeah, so you like when you see a city truck and you see like this light on the roof facing back. Um, that's probably one of these Go lights. That's a very common light, and it's
Hmm.
supposed to be like better quality than the Jabsco ones or something. Which
I think they're magnetic too, right? Well, they have two options. They can be
mm,
like magnetic, or
oh,
they can
that's
have like
nice.
they have a base that they like
Mm,
click into. I
yeah,
think it's
that'd be
both.
nice.
I think it's both actually. I think it's a magnetic base, or like the base of the light is magnetic, but it also has like a dock that it clicks into, like a permanent
Yeah.
type of mount. I think it comes with both. I could be wrong though. You might have to select one or
So
the other, but
so Jonathan is saying he said Jonathan Raff saying he should have died instead of Eddie. Rest in peace, Eddie Carr. Um, I was actually gonna bring that up later, whenever I showed spoiler, but
yeah.
yeah, that definitely Vince Vaughn should have been the one, not Eddie Carr. Eddie Carr was such a
Hmm.
nice guy, like, and his death was so unnecessary. Like that's terrible, and the way
Yeah.
how he went out, like all
Yeah, he was.
because
Yeah,
like
I
I
think he
don't
was
know, it just
neutral. I mean, he was kind of neutral the whole time. He wasn't really for the yeah. I don't know. He was mostly neutral in the story, but he was also a good guy too. I mean, he tried to save everyone,
yeah.
and so yeah, I think that's why they did it. It was kind of like a like a Game of Thrones type of moment. Like, oh, you like that guy? Okay, we're gonna kill him. So, but
Yeah, I mean, well, like I said, I agree with Jonathan on that one.
but yeah,
So
but he was one of the more like from our aspect, he was one of the more interesting characters because he was like the tech guy, right? He was the equipment specialist and stuff, and he was the
Yep.
specialist with the cars and the specialist with the weapons and the computers and everything. So that's kind of why I liked his character because I like, you know, I'm more of a tech person. So
Yep, I agree. Over to the chat here. Yep. Papeton Pictures saying, I loved Eddie. Makes me so sad how he died, trying to save his friends too. I know. I know, I agree. Gone too soon. Rest in peace, Eddie Carr. All right, let's move on to the next photo. My favorite scene of the entire film is this one right here. It has the beautiful landscapes of
mhm.
Hawaii. I believe this is probably Koloa Ranch. And you can see here the RV is driving, and through the grass, and you got the MLs behind it. But the funny thing is, and that's something that Frank had said when he purchased the RV, was that RV was incredibly underpowered. I believe it had like a 8-cylinder gasoline engine,
Right.
and
Yeah, yeah. Well, it wasn't even diesel,
yeah, it wasn't
apparently,
even
right? It was,
diesel. So this thing would struggle to pull this large half of an RV behind it. There was a point where he was going back up to Universal Studios Hollywood, a couple of years ago for the 25th anniversary, and he got stuck on an incline going up the driveway at Universal because it was just so underpowered. The vehicle wouldn't it wouldn't pull.
I think mostly it was the oversized mud tires that probably did it in. I
Mhm.
mean, the trailer was probably, I mean, it's wood and stuff, and yeah, it's, but those, you talk about how big are the tires? Like 33s or 35s or
I
something?
don't know,
30,
but they're pretty big.
they're
They're large.
massive,
Yep.
and there's so many of them. I mean, that rotational mass of those tires and the mud tires with the resistance and all the knobby tires, I mean, I'm sure for filming it was probably all right. I mean, going low speeds like that, but
Yep.
yeah, anything more than probably 20 miles an hour is going to be, yeah, a
I think it
chore.
is. I think it is pretty awesome that they put mud tire, these super swampers
Yeah.
on this RV and a full set. I thought it was pretty
Well,
cool.
well, I mean, you think of like a Jeep or something. If you change your tires, if you put massive tires on your Jeep, you change the gearing.
Yeah.
Either the differential or whatever. Some cases, some cars,
Yeah,
the
that makes
transmission.
sense. That makes sense.
And I'm sure they didn't do any of that for the RV. I'm sure it's the stock gearing, which is just that's got to be terrible. And it's yeah.
So Steven Stone is saying the lights on the light bar change positions in a few scenes. We're gonna get to that because when I was getting these screenshots, I was noticing that as well, and I've come to the conclusion that specific Jeeps, I'm sorry, ooh, not Jeeps, specific MLs have a specific pattern of lights overhead.
An
So
arrangement, an
yeah,
arrangement,
there's like
yeah.
a specific arrangement according to what the function of that vehicle is. Because when I was watching this, I noticed that there are two MLs that were designed to break apart for the T Rex scene. Like the roof was designed for the roof to detach itself. And you can see that later. And then Hugo Canales 1994 just said if you look closely it doesn't have the boxes on them. Yep. And this scene right here, and also the ML that was in Hawaii doesn't have the boxes. As you can see right here, it doesn't have the little boxes on the side. So the ones that went to Hawaii, well, this one specifically, it didn't have the boxes, and I believe this is now in private hands, right?
Which one?
The truck version of the ML that's missing
Oh,
the boxes.
yeah, it's at that museum, right? I mean, Ari went there and
Yeah, so
photographed it.
they're
Yeah, that's a private. It's a muse.
yeah
It's not Mercedes, right? And it's not Universal, so
yeah it's a privately owned vehicle, which I mean I'm super jealous, and I don't know how these things get all over the world, but this one's in Germany, in Frankfurt, Germany, and it's stored at the Mercedes Benz Museum, and yeah, it's a privately owned vehicle. So this one specifically that doesn't have the boxes is in Germany.
I think the reason why a lot of these ended up where they did is because the partnership with Mercedes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
I guess that makes sense.
they worked heavily with,
Yeah.
with Mercedes, so I think Mercedes had. a good deal of say as to what they could do with them.
Yep.
Whereas like for the first movie, it was like Universal for the most part bottom, without too much sponsorship or involvement from Ford. It seemed like it was, yeah. But Mercedes was involved with this heavily because it was a pre-production model too, so they had to work with Mercedes. They couldn't just go and buy them and modify them. They had to. I mean, it was an arrangement, so it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And and yeah, whenever they made the film, I don't know if this is already mentioned, but these are all pretty much like prototypes, right?
Yeah, they're pre-production. So
Pre-production.
yeah, I don't know if they're some of them were probably prototypes or whatnot. I mean, but it seems like they're just pre-production. So another thing too about pre-production is the color schemes of the interior. I haven't done a whole lot of research on this, but they have odd interior arrangements. Like I bought a dealer book from '97, which is the first year, or no, was it '98 was the first year we could get them, the first model year. So I bought one of the dealer books from '98, and I couldn't find some of the interior combos that they had. Like I think the one on Alan's Adventure is like tan
Yeah.
and like a like a brown, like a darker brown, and yeah, I couldn't find the exact color combos. So I think some of those were like pre-production or like tests, like tests for color schemes and stuff. I mean, if you're gonna make a car, you could probably make a few different color of interiors just to see what works.
Yep.
And but yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. But um, yeah, I mean, other than that, I don't. Yeah, I'd say it's just a pre-production. I mean, actually, I don't. Yeah, I don't think there's a VIN on at least the Alan's Adventure one. I would be curious to know if the other ones have VINs on them.
Yeah.
I think Ari mentioned something about the VIN not being there or something on the one he saw.
Hmm.
But I mean, I wouldn't doubt because it's pre-production, so they don't
Yeah.
need VIN number,
Yeah.
VINs. So.
Yep. So I mean, I thought that was pretty interesting how heavily involved Mercedes was with this film,
Hmm.
supplying all these vehicles and allowing the crew to do everything and destroy them basically. And they're not doing that anymore for some reason. I guess because the vehicles
Right.
are too expensive now or whatever it is. But I miss the days where they would heavily modify vehicles and just like destroy them like nothing by dinosaurs.
Mm. I'm willing to bet Mercedes probably wanted vehicles closer to what you could actually buy.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of like the I don't know, like the commercial not living up to the reality of it, like it's too heavily modified. I'm willing to bet there was something with that with the new movie, where it's like, hey, it's got to look mostly like a Mercedes G-Wagon or a whatever, what I mean? Because yeah, I mean the ML is almost, I mean it's very different. They added those like body like uh like cladding or whatever on the side, right? They extended the body out. Um, so I'm willing to bet there was something like that where they were like, hey, we want it more like what you would actually buy.
Mm-hmm. So just put a
Because I mean,
couple
if
bolt
yeah,
ons
I
on
mean
it.
yeah, um, but I'm sure they saw the success of the first movie, like what it did for the Explorer, and
Yep.
even Jeep. I'm sure probably
Oh
got a
yeah.
good
Jeeps,
number
yeah,
of
definitely
sales.
put a
Yeah.
staple on it. But
So
I see that let's see, where am I in the chat here? Pre-production. Oh yeah, so Ryan R says I believe one of the MLs was even diesel powered, and yeah, that's right. I think the one at I think this one right here, that you see right here with the little dome on the top. Um, I believe that's one of the ones. That's the one that's in Hollywood, Universal Hollywood, in the backlot tour, and that one's actually diesel. I think it's like a four-cylinder diesel, right?
I thought I thought the diesel got a different number though. I thought the ML320. This was back in the day. I mean, things have changed now, but back in the day, ML320 was a 3.2 liter 320, and then they came out with the what
Mm-hmm.
430, I think it was, which
Well,
is the
When
4.3 liter.
Barrington had access to the vehicles at one point for an event
Hmm.
when he was over there, and he had looked underneath and opened up the gas tank and everything, and it said diesel only. I think even
Really?
on the
Okay.
I think on the gauge cluster, I don't know, there was like a couple of diesel signs on it, and he was looking at the engine, and he said, I
Okay.
think he said that it was like a four cylinder or something. It was like a four cylinder diesel.
Okay.
I could be wrong about the four cylinder, but I know for sure he said that it was a diesel engine that was in that vehicle.
I don't think the diesel came out until like later in the production. I
Hmm.
remember watching a thing on the ML, and I think the diesel wasn't available till later. I think they launched with the gas, but I mean, it makes sense that they'd have a prototype one.
Yeah.
But they still badged them 320, and
Yep.
I'm pretty sure that I don't know. I have to verify this, but I'm pretty sure the diesel one is a different number. It's not a 320. It's a whatever,
Hmm.
a 240 or something or whatever. I don't know. I guess we could look that up, but yeah, in the movie they were portrayed to be 320s, which would be the gas, but since they're pre-production, they could have whatever engine. And we also never got the manual version too, by the way. The manual was only available in Europe, so
Yep.
that's kind of a bummer for us too. But
Yeah, and so Emmanuel is in the house. Emmanuel Chen. He says, "Stopping by to say hi. Hello, Emmanuel. Welcome to the conversation." And then he says that he also said that these vehicles were prototypes, so it could have been the European diesel models.
yeah, yeah, but I'm pretty sure they had ML. Did they have badging? Is there badging in the back that says 320? I can't remember if there's badging or not, but I think they were meant to be portrayed as the 320 because that's what they launched with. I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of the other models came later. I know the V8 one came like a few years later. And
Yeah.
I don't think they launched with the diesel one. So I think they were trying to push the 320. But yeah, I mean they could be any variation. I mean one of them could be a V8. I mean I'm sure they're in production, prototyping and testing these things years before they come out. So
Yep.
yeah, they could be any number of things. But I think they were meant to be 320s, because if you look at the advertisements and stuff, it was all about um, the ones that were available for sale at the time, which I think in '98, I think it was just the gasoline one. I said, but
Yep.
but the badges were removed. Yeah, I think that were they removed? Yeah, they might be.
I think so. I don't
Okay,
think it had
yeah,
any badges on it.
but
Yep.
yeah.
So the Jurassic Junkie is saying, "Great discussion tonight, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate the kind words. Thank you for joining us tonight."
Oh, see you, Manny. Manny's
All right,
heading out.
Manny. I'll see you later. Love you guys. Oh, he loves me. Gotta go drive. Drive. Wow. Have a good night. Be safe, Emmanuel.
But yeah, just for the record, like we never got the diesel one. We never got a stick shift.
That sounds like a
And it's
European thing,
typical though.
honestly.
Yeah. And I mean, for the most part, like most stick shift cars that we get that aren't like performance cars, they're mostly like the baser models.
Yeah.
And I guess they just figured for the American market that no one would want the manual. And I know the diesel. I know there's a lot of what do you call that, like emissions stuff with diesel stuff.
Yeah.
Like I think America is very particular about diesel emissions
Yeah.
specifically, and I think each version that they have has to be tested, and they have to sell so many, and they have to do all these things, and it affects their numbers. They can only have so many diesels and with this emissions and stuff. So I mean, it makes sense why they try to kind of simplify it. Which yeah, we only got the 320, and then the 430 later. The I think it was AMG badged too.
Yeah.
I think
No.
it was AMG badge. I can't remember, but um, yeah, I heard they're actually good cars. The ML. Um,
Are
apparently
they?
they're pretty.
I don't
I've watched.
know.
I've seen some YouTube videos, not Jurassic Park related, and just by happenstance, like I watch some off-road channels and stuff where people buy cheap off-road cars, and like two or three different channels now that I've watched, people have praised the ML. Doug DeMuro,
Hmm.
I think, was praising it. He's like a YouTube auto reviewer, like completely neutral, and he loves the ML. He said they're great. The engine's reliable. They're great cars. They're cheap.
I don't know,
Hoovie's
man.
Garage.
I don't
Hoovie's
know.
Garage.
A
You
couple
ever
people,
watch?
a couple people that own the vehicles, they've complained about it. I know Derek Dorman had bought one. He's eventually, I think he's gonna try to convert it eventually, but
Mhm.
I know he bought it with like a ton of problems, and he repaired all of them, and then he had I think like transmission failure or something like right after he fixed all those other issues. And but I mean, he drives it to other cities like 4.5, 5 hours away. So I mean, I don't know. Like I heard it's a good car, easy to work on, simple. But also I heard that it is a little unreliable and the parts are kind of expensive because they're European parts. But I don't. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I would love to build one day. I really would.
See, I heard they were a little more affordable than the standard European car. I mean, I drive a BMW for my daily driver, and it is a pain in the butt to work on. I mean, every little thing it's overly complicated, and the parts are expensive. But I heard because the ML was built here in Alabama, it was kind of more of American centric in how it was built, and it was a little more simple, and it was a little more. It wasn't quite so complicated, which is what happens with
Yeah,
those.
Steven Stone is saying they have a lot of problems. He owns one, but he says, but once you fix them with the updates, they are great.
I mean, that's most cars are like that. Most cars have their things, like the Explorer,
I
like the
want
trans.
so bad, man. I want to build ML so bad. Every single time when I was putting these images together, the entire time I'm like, oh my god, I want to build one.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And like every car has those problems. The Explorer with the transmissions, like
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably gonna have to replace the transmission at one point.
I mean, my
But
Jeep, my Jeep has been fantastic. All of my Jeeps that I've owned, well, I've owned several, but the ones that I've actually driven, it's two. I've driven two Jeeps almost daily a couple times at one point, and I don't know, but I've never had an issue other than the standard maintenance or like a battery or maybe brakes or something
mhm.
basic and simple that was pretty easy to repair. And I do Comic Cons in other cities and some other states, and I
Mhm.
drive them to those events. And so far, knock on wood, somewhere around here, it's been they've been surprisingly reliable. I wouldn't have taken something like that, because I come from Japanese vehicles almost most of my life. I've driven Hondas, Acuras, Toyotas, and my Jeep was one of the first domestic cars that I owned, and yeah, so far so good.
Yeah,
It's been already 5 years since I've driven them.
I think it's just luck, and it's how the previous owner, like what they did to it, how they drove it, how they took care of it. I mean, it really just depends. But yeah, someone here in the chat said too that their 430 does not have an AMG badge. I think the AMG was a special option. I think it was you could get a 430 AMG,
Mm.
which had like bigger rims and like I think it had some like side skirts and stuff if I remember right. But I think there was an AMG version too as well.
Okay.
And someone asked about the years. Was it 98 to like
Somebody
2003
is
or
saying
something?
2000. Another is saying 98 to 2000. I know, like, I think up to like 2003, they look about the same.
Yeah,
Um,
they had a facelift. They got different bumpers and different mirrors. And
yeah,
I think like the climate control like the knobs for the climate control like changed. So there's a few little changes. I'm sure like you could revert it back to the older style if you wished, which might be a good thing to do. You can get like the newest one,
yeah,
like a 2002 or 3 or whatever it
yeah.
is,
I would probably get one of the newest ones.
and then put the old stuff back on, like put the old bumpers
Yeah.
on, put the old mirrors on, put
I
the
would
like
love to
kind of
build one though, man. Like,
yeah.
since I was a kid, like, that was when that movie came out. I loved those cars. I even had the toys in all different forms. I had like the tiny little Matchbox toys. Then I had the the big one where you can set the figures into, and then I had the giant RV as well. And just the look of them is just you look at them, you're like, man, that now if a vehicle were to be used for a dinosaur park, it would look just like that.
Okay, we got a couple things in the chat here. Okay, yeah, so Hugo says, yeah, 98 to 2001 for the accurate one,
Hmm.
2002 to 2005. So you could, but I think you could just change everything back. It seems like you could just bolt the mirrors on. You could kind of revert the stuff to the older style if you really wanted to, I'm sure. And they're all over the junkyards here too. I mean,
Hmm.
every junkyard I go to has at least one or two of them, so it wouldn't be too hard to find. And someone says here only the ML55 AMG. Okay, so the AMG version had it was like a different number. Okay. Yeah, early 2001 is okay. I
Yes,
mean, it has
Steven
nice.
Sun is saying halfway through 2001 they changed. Early 2001 is okay.
Yeah, and he says, I mean, I have a 98, mostly reliable. Like I said, I've seen from a few different auto YouTubers. I've seen three now. There's a guy who is in Colorado who builds like cheaper off-road rigs. Like he bought a cheap TJ and stuff, and they also bought an ML, and they said that it's been great. And like I said, Hoovie's Garage is another big auto YouTuber. He had one and he loved it. And he said it was great. And Doug DeMuro, like, there's a lot of these like YouTube people that are
Okay.
buying these MLs because it's a cheap 4x4. I mean, and it's a body on frame too. It's not like a unibody like most people see the ML and they're like, oh, it's like a Honda CRV or something, right?
Yeah.
It's actually it's a truck. I mean, it's body on frame. It's not like a little toy crossover. It's a legit off-road vehicle, and then they're cheap.
It's just too bad that the manual version wasn't
Yeah,
available. I don't understand that. Like
that's a bummer.
you would think that yeah, that's four wheel drive. Let's put a stick of manual on there.
Hmm.
I wonder if that ever even happened ever. Does anybody ever know? Does anybody know that if they've eventually somehow ended up offering um,
Not in
manual
the States.
transmission?
Not in the States, from what I
Um,
read. It's only
I mean,
in Europe.
I get it's like a SUV type thing, but I mean, it looks like it can do some work in the trails.
There we go. Yeah, TFL cars, and they love it. Yeah, YouTube. See, I watch a lot of auto YouTubers, especially like off-road
TFL
ones.
cars. Okay.
Yeah, and they're out in Colorado, and they buy like cheaper. Well, the videos I've saw, they were cheaper off-road uh cars, basically.
Okay.
Cheaper 4x4s, and they
Man.
love the ML. Yeah, they're like, this is great. It's 4x4. It's a body on
Yeah.
frame. Yeah, it's people just look at it and they think it's a little crossover or something, but it's actually a truck. It's more
Yeah.
truck than it is car.
Yeah, I want one, but also want to build an Explorer. So I mean, I don't know which direction I'm gonna go on my next project, but I would love to have a truck version of the ML, and then I would love to have an Explorer as well. I think I'd probably have
Mm.
more fun with the ML, honestly.
I think day to day it'd be more fun.
Yeah.
The Explorer's not that fun to drive around.
No, it's not. I've
I
been in
mean,
your Explorer before, and I was
it's
baked. I was
yeah, well,
baked. Why
so
did you do that to me?
that I actually had a problem with the AC during that time
But even then, the sun was. I mean, it
But
was like in the middle of summer, or
yeah,
like was it? No, was it September or something?
it's not too bad if you start from the garage, like if you start from a shaded spot and drive around, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's when you park it
Oh.
is when it was when it gets bad. If you're just continuously driving around and it's you started out in the shade, like it started out cool, the AC can keep up. But if you park it in the direct sun,
Hmm.
it's like it gets so hot that the AC can't overcome the
But
heat
like I
inside. But
said, I mean, even if you have the air conditioning, you still have that sun
mm,
just like cooking your skin.
yeah, I have to put like SPF on. If I have more than like a 30 or 40-minute drive.
Wow. All right, let's move on. Okay, so again, here's another closer shot of the MLs, and you can see this one right here is missing those little boxes on the sides. And also pay attention to these lights up here. You can see square, round, round, square. So just remember that order: square, round, round, square, because you're going to see the order is going to change according to, I guess, purpose of the vehicle here. So moving on. All right, so here we have everybody hanging out at base camp. The beautiful truck right here, as you can see, the boxes have returned. They don't even open. There's no way that they're just solid boxes. Um, and you can see Kelly over here on the hood of this one, which is, I believe, this is probably the one that's at Universal Hollywood. And you have the RV here. All right, I'm gonna move on to the next one. And again, here is the same thing, same scene, but on this one here, you can see. Okay, so this vehicle right here, this specific one is at Universal Studios Islands of Adventure in Orlando. The one in Orlando is the only one that does not have these little indentions right here on the back part. If you can see, like like a regular door handle has a little bit of indentation, so you can put your hand
A
in
cup, yeah,
and
it's got
yeah,
a cup.
a little cup. And you can see it here, but on the back one, it doesn't. On the back one, it does not have um, that indention. And I'll pull up an image real quick if Brandon, you want to kind of chime in on this one.
Yeah, that seems to be the unique quality of that one is that rear door handle, and it's like, and the door doesn't open either too. It's like fiberglass or solid or something. It was definitely like a prototype version that they used for this truck.
Yeah, and yeah, so and then this one right here was designed to break apart. You can see the seams. There's like little cuts on certain areas. Like for example, like right here, you can see there's a cut on the what is that? The B pillar, A pillar, B pillar? I don't know, one of those pillars. This middle, the middle
The
pillar,
C pillar,
the
yeah.
C pillar.
Yeah, it starts
Um,
in the front, A, B, and then C is the back.
well, the B it's the B pillar, the one that's between the front door and the back door.
Oh, okay. I think about the cut
The
on the.
rear one, yeah. Now this, so the B pillar in this shot, you can see that it's cut. It has a cut
Oh,
right
okay.
here,
All right. Oh,
um,
yes.
and so that's how you know that this is the only one that's designed for the roof to come off during that T Rex attack scene. And I'm still trying to find an image of the other one at the park so I can kind of
Sorry, I'm lagging behind because
yeah, yeah. I know that you have the
you
lag.
you covered my screen.
Oh, sorry. Hold on.
Like I'm looking at the one that you're sharing with me.
Oh, this one
There
right
you go.
here.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
okay.
what. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, it's right. It's right here. But hold on. Let me pull. I'm almost there. Hold on. I got the image right here for you guys. How can I do this? Okay, here it goes. So this right here, you can see. Where are you going? Get over here. Okay. So right here, you can see that there's no cup. This is the one at in Universal Orlando, and you can see that there's no cup here. This one has it, and this one doesn't. And Brandon took some photos as well that they had welded these things. They had patched them, so it no longer has those strange cuts right here, and I think here. But you can still see those cuts inside the vehicle, and you can see the bolts holding it all together. And we'll get to that in a minute. But just yeah, keep your eyes on that, and you can see on the scenes, the one that doesn't have the cup is the one at Universal Orlando. So I think that's pretty cool how that's the only one that has that characteristic.
Hmm.
So I don't know if
Yeah,
any of you
yeah,
guys out there didn't know that, but now you know.
yeah. Definitely interesting. It's a interesting vehicle. The fact that they're pre-production really adds a lot of like mystery to it. You
Yep.
know, with the Jeeps and the Explorers, we're like, okay, they're all, they have VINs. You can see how they're optioned. I mean, they were production cars, but these are really even more of a mystery because they weren't production cars. So
Yep. So somebody here is saying Rex Tappy is asking, "Hey Brandon, did your bubble roof ever warp because of direct sun heat?"
no, no, since it's clear, it's fine, and it would have to get to around 200 degrees inside for it to melt the plastic. Um, and since it's clear, the roof, just the heat, the energy just passed right through it. However, I've had some other things melt inside, like the cameras on the dash. Those aren't rated for dashboard temperatures. Rear TV, one of my rear TVs, like the bezel melted because it's black.
Oh.
It just absorbed all that heat. But yeah, luckily the roof, since it's clear, doesn't absorb that heat. So,
Yep.
and it doesn't get hot enough. The air doesn't get hot enough inside the car to actually affect the roof. So it's
Um,
literally, yeah,
yeah. So somebody's asking if they repaint the vehicle at the parks. And yes, the parks. Those
yeah,
all those vehicles have been repainted probably two or maybe three times.
yeah.
Obviously, they're not gonna be original anymore. The movie's 20. This is probably like 23 years old, something like that. So yeah, it's not gonna look the same anymore, especially when they're being
No.
redone by people that aren't Brandon or myself.
Mhm. Well, I mean, luckily, Phil is kind of the, you
Yeah,
know, unofficial caretaker of them.
yeah,
It's not his direct department, but he definitely is in tune with what they're doing and trying to advise them and because ultimately the choices for these things come from higher up people. They're like, oh, that looks like crap, get rid of it, or that looks,
hmm
uh, I'm assuming that's how it works. It's not the
Yep.
people that actually care about it making the decisions. It's people higher up. They don't really know what they are. Um, but yeah, luckily Phil's there, kind of fighting for us and trying to get them restored and preserved, and so that's awesome.
Yep. So, yeah, they're saying that. Oh, by the way, and Philip, for those that don't know, is a friend of ours and a friend of a lot of you guys that works at Universal in the prop department, and yeah, he's been going to bat for the community on trying to restore these vehicles back to their former glory. I know a lot of us have sent in parts to help in the restoration of the screen used Jeep. A lot of us sent up screen accurate parts to put back on there because it was missing almost everything. It was just pretty much just a solid body with lights.
Hmm.
But it's good to see that we have somebody on the inside that is continuously trying to push and make sure that these vehicles look like the way they're supposed to be. Because believe it or not, a lot of people, even that people that aren't like huge fans like us, can tell that they look a little different from the movie. You're not
But but
fooling anyone.
but in Universal's defense, I mean, 99% of the people that take pictures with them or whatever don't notice or don't care. So, I mean, it's still a business. They have to, are they going to get?
99%.
I would
That's a big
say
percentage. I think no, I don't think so. You gotta give them a little bit of credit. I think people do care.
maybe the Explorer. The Explorer is more noticeable because the colors are completely crazy. But like the
Yeah,
Jeep,
the
but the Jeep and the ML, most people walk by, they're like, oh yeah, it's one from the movie, okay, So
and some people
you,
don't even know that's from the movie, and that's
yeah.
that's what's sad. Like I think there should be a plaque out there, just like you would see at a museum. There'd be a plaque. Oh, this vehicle was used in Jurassic Park, 1993 or
Which
1997,
which which,
whatever.
they did for a while. Remember that
Really?
old
Oh
picture of
yeah,
the
the little yeah, but
yeah.
then they don't care anymore. So
Well, because it was a top, it was a new movie, so it was like, oh yeah, this is the one from the movie. But then after that, after the movie's not so popular anymore, it's like, yeah, whatever,
yeah.
just dump it out wherever. But
Hello, Sloan. Welcome to the conversation. I see Sloan is
hey,
here. She also has a ML. Well, her boyfriend has an ML, but she has it as well, I guess. Um, so and we have some reference photos that we're gonna get to at the end, towards the end, on the interior of these vehicles after production and more recent photos, so you guys can kind of take a look on what it looks like nowadays and the little details on them. So we'll move on to the next image here, if I can. Why'd you break it, Brandon? What did you do? Why'd you break my pictures?
because you were trying to hide my screen there.
Sorry.
Hmm.
Okay, so we're moving on to this image here. All right, so now we're at the campfire. Obviously, here's a little another good look at the RV. This beautiful beast. Man, I still love this thing. Every time I see it, it's like still just such a glory, just a glorious sight. Such a joy to see. Of course, Vince Vaughn trying to turn off fire with water. Vince Vaughn being Vince, the useless, pointless Vince Vaughn. I'm just kidding, guys. And then moving on to the next one here. On here, you can see. Sorry, can you see it again, Brandon?
Yeah.
Okay. On here, this is a great shot because you can see Jeff Goldblum is looking through the binoculars backwards.
Hmm.
And for some reason, looking through the binoculars backwards does not give you this scene, but there you go. Apparently, that's what he's seeing whenever you look through them backwards. You see this
Interesting.
Unimog looking thing.
So that Chinook helicopter, in that scene, every once in a while, like we get those at my work, where
This two propeller thing.
yeah, it's a
Okay.
Chinook. It's
Chinook. Chinook helicopter.
yeah, it's a CH. Oh, what is it? Not 53. 53 is like the bigger one. 40 something. Yeah.
Sure.
Anyways, yeah. So we get those every once in a while at my work. Where I work, we do like military simulations. So we take helicopters and tanks and things, and we take ones that have been retired and like fit them with uh, you know, um, the screens and stuff like that, or maintenance, repair like trainers basically. And every once in a while, we get one of those that had been decommissioned, and I want to take like a engine sticker, like cut a sticker and put it on it, and like take some pictures with my truck or something. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're saying CH-47, and we have an expert
Is it 47? Yeah,
in
that's
here.
okay.
Yeah, he would know.
Yeah, so we've been doing the 53 is like the new one that we've been working on. So, but yeah, those have been around forever. Those
Yeah.
Chinooks.
Yeah, some of those pass over. Well, some that look like that pass over Houston sometimes. I remember when Hurricane
Mm.
Harvey happened in Houston, you would always see those in the sky, and that's how you knew, McMahon. Things are pretty real right now in Houston. Whenever the flood happened, but
Have you seen the article where Trump owned that exact one or something? Have you seen that? It's been a few years since I've seen that article floating around. I don't know if it's true or not.
Trump owned which one? That engine one
That
right there?
that exact one, that exact
That's
helicopter
kind
or
of weird
something.
because I feel like I've seen that too.
I
I've
thought
seen
I
that
saw
article.
that. It's been years since I've seen
How
that
weird,
circulating.
man. How strange.
Like before he was president and everything, like that
Yeah.
was like circulating. I don't know if that's true or not, but something to note.
Yep. So somebody's asking if the bars on the window bars are made of wood.
I think they're PVC. I know all that junk up at the top, like
Yeah.
those little condensers or whatever the hell they are at the top. And I know I've seen some pictures where they were white PVC when
It kind of
Frank
looks like
and the crew were doing the.
I don't know, man, almost like a resin type of stuff, almost like a plastic. Um,
I know the side parts are like where the pipes go through or where because I
yeah,
remember you can see those are like
yeah,
falling apart. Yeah.
okay, yeah. But, I mean, maybe PVC. I guess that's what they use for all of them, like the windows on the RV and stuff like that. I know the pipes up here. This is all PVC piping. This is all
Yeah.
nothing. Like this is just a bunch of random stuff they put up here to make this
Yeah.
thing look more to
They
fill in the gaps, I guess.
Yeah, and they painted it like metallic, so it's supposed to
Yeah,
look metal, but
but yeah.
it's just plastic.
Okay, then we have the scene here with a lot of these like incredibly modified Jeeps and Unimogs. I mean, these things look so
Yeah.
so amazing. Um, and this one right here, this Unimog right here, is actually still in existence at Universal Studios Orlando.
Hmm.
Um, and again, that's something that I'm going to show you an image towards the end after we finish looking through these of what how they look right now. And here goes Roland Timbo. He's probably one of my favorite characters from the movie. Super awesome and incredible actor. And this guy actually died, a few years ago,
Yeah.
so that's too bad. But it's interesting. You can see in this Jeep here that he's driving is there's some scenes where there's like I think like a hatchet or something, some sort of an axe or something bolted to the side right here, and then some scenes don't have it. So yeah, you can tell there's like two or three versions of this car. They all look very similar.
Yeah. It's cool though. I mean, it's yeah. I mean, I don't know if it would be practical again because there's no actual windshield. I mean, I suppose if I were to make this one, I would probably put like a piece of
Yeah,
plexiglass in like on the window on
yeah.
the windshield.
This would be a joy to drive. I mean, these
Yeah.
things look like they can do some pretty nice damage on the trails. I mean, they're just. I mean, look how they're. And it's interesting because when you see photos of these things, when they've been sitting out for decades, they still look like they're in good shape. They definitely held up to the elements. It seems like.
I almost wonder like I didn't really look at it when I looked at it a little bit when we had one at Allen's Adventure here in Orlando for a while, and I have some pictures of it. I never really looked too much into it. I was more focused on like the Jeep at the time, well the Jeep from the first movie at the time. But I wonder if it's like aluminum or stainless or something, because I would think if it was sheet metal, like iron or
Yeah,
whatever, or like cold
it would have
rolled steel or
rusted.
whatever, I would have think it would probably have rusted, because it looked pristine. I mean, like up until it got scrapped or whatever, it
Yeah,
looked great. I mean, it didn't.
and that's very sad that it no longer exists. And I'm hoping that's not true. That I'm hoping that it's in private collections or stored somewhere.
Mhm.
But I mean, the way how Universal, and I don't mean to dog on Universal. Like I mean, I know they do their things for their reasons, but I mean, some of these vehicles are very important to certain people like us, and seeing how like something so incredibly modified and interesting looking for a movie was just scrapped just like that.
Something interesting to note too, they have the same brand of brush guard on the
Yes,
Jeeps
that's right.
as they did of the Explorer.
And
The
these are a
like,
little, and these are a little modified too.
yeah, they like welded extra little things at the top, and then
Hmm.
they welded the where the bumper profile would normally be, like it would normally conform to the bumper. So they kind of welded, like kind of filled that area in.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a Go Rhino brush guard, just like the first movie. So
Someone saying that these look like they are probably CJs. But I mean, yeah, they're not. They're YJs, and
you can see the
you
dash,
can
the
see the
steering
dashboard. The
wheel.
dashboard has uh, a YJ dashboard, which I'll show you right here. As you can see, this is the dash pad from a YJ. Even has a YJ steering wheel. So unless if they somehow took the time to put in a YJ dash into these vehicles, it doesn't really make too much sense to do that. Okay, so in this scene right here, every time I watch this scene, every time I see this, it makes me cringe so bad because you can see that this truck, this Hummer, totally overshot this jump. This they went so high up into the air, and it just like
It eats
nosedived
it, yeah, it
so
eats it.
bad. Like I'm any more of a nosedive, and this thing for sure would have flipped over like forward. I mean, look at this. There's no way that vehicle survived. That vehicle bent in half. Like there's.
Yeah.
So every single time I see this, I'm all like, "Oh my god, was that supposed to happen?" I think they messed that shot up. I think that stunt went bad. But
Or
anyways,
it's or it's like the General Lee's
yeah,
where they have like well for that show they had a million of them. They
yeah,
just
because every
launched
every
them,
jump that General Lee would just like
just gone.
bend in half and no
Yeah.
longer able to drive. Yep, absolutely. This motorcycle right here is awesome. I want this so bad. This is a what is this?
Starts with a C. It's a European
Kagjiva,
motorcycle.
Kagjiva, I
Yeah.
think, right? I think Kagjiva motorcycle or something, and it's a European bike. And I think you can still purchase these. And I believe there was they came out with a Lost World version where it had like the Lost World decal on it. Let me.
I thought they had like custom fairings too or something too. Didn't they? Or no? Was it
I
just
think
stock?
I don't know. I know it has like the little guard in the front.
Oh, was that it?
Let me
But
see
the
if I can.
fairings are all
Let
the
me see if I can
same.
find the Lost World version real quick. I know I'm not making things up.
There you go. The chat's saying.
What was it?
Yeah. It's a canyon. Apparently, yeah.
Yeah, Canyon. Yeah, Kagiva motorcycle. It's a Kagiva Canyon, I believe.
Okay, so they just added a little guard to it.
Yeah, so here you go. You can see this is the Lost World version. Apparently there's like a Lost World model from what I understand.
So it's like a hybrid, right? It's not a street bike. It's not a dirt bike. It's like
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah. It's like a hybrid because it looks like a dirt bike, but it kind of looks like a street bike as well.
yeah.
Yeah, Kajiva Canyon. Yeah, and I actually looked into trying to buying one of these. Look, it even has like this little guard in the back. And I looked into buying one of these a couple years ago, but I mean the import fees and all that stuff. I know it's just gonna be ridiculous, so that's no longer worth it. But let's see. Hold on, let me get that photo back up here. Where'd you go? I miss you so.
It's like it's been forever.
Yeah, everybody now. Okay, so this on this here I'll bring you back up, Brand, so you can see it here. So on this image here, with this motorcycle right here, the actually, if you go to whenever the world opens up again, whenever if you go to Planet Hollywood,
Oh yeah.
they have the bike,
hmm
like strapped to the ceiling in Planet Hollywood Times Square. Let me see if I
Is it
can
still
find.
there? I know they rotate those things
Yeah, I
out
went. I went
sometimes.
several years ago, and that's when I saw it. I remember, like, I went like in I don't know, was it 2015 or something? I don't know. I went a
Mm.
while back, and I remember looking at the ceiling. And was like, is that the motorcycle from the Lost World? And sure enough, I saw the plaque, and it
Have
is.
you been to the Florida one recently?
Uh,
It's kind of
I
lame.
think
Like
so. Yeah, I think I went like a year ago. Whenever they
yeah.
renovated it.
Well, like they used to have all those things hanging from the
Yep.
ceiling, like the bus from Speed and all
Yeah,
that. But
they
all
had the
that's gone. All
most.
that's gone now. Like it's all like projection
Yep.
screens now. It's they took all those props down, which kind of sucks.
Yep. Yeah, they had. Yeah, now it's like this DJ thing. Yeah, it's kind of lame. Like before,
But
it had so many props. Like I was so impressed in the amount of props that they had. And yeah, now they don't. Yeah, I can't find an image of it, but I know I have one like on Facebook or something. Um,
y- yeah, the Planet Hollywood here in Orlando has the one of the Dino Handler uniforms from the first
yeah,
movie,
yeah. I remember.
which
I
is
think
pretty cool.
I think when I went, they sat me right in front of it. So I mean, it
Oh, really?
was
Oh,
yeah,
that's
it
cool.
was meant to be. They knew who I was. You know, they was like,
Hmm.
oh, this guy, this is Jurassic Vic. Let's sit him right by the Jurassic Park props. Right? No? Okay, fine. Yeah, I can't find any images of it. I guess nobody really knows because I don't see any photos of it. But I know I took one a long time ago and I have it
Well,
somewhere.
I mean, unless you knew what you were looking at, you wouldn't
Yeah.
know because it doesn't have any markings on it. So
Yeah, I
you
wonder if they still have it. I'd love to reach out to them and try to convince them to sell it to me. That'd be pretty awesome.
It looks like it'd be fun. Like I'm not a huge like street bike
Yeah.
person. Like I've never owned a like a street bike, but I had dirt bikes before.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I've had a motorcycle before, and I mean they're scary. They are very fun to drive, but I mean the Jeep was a pretty decent replacement for my motorcycle. You know, you take the top
mhm.
off, take the doors off, and it's very similar experience. You know, you see everything on the road, smell everything on the
Yeah,
road. So that's pretty cool.
I'm just afraid of other drivers, man.
Yep.
Like
Oh yeah, it's terrifying. It's absolutely
like
terrifying.
at least a dirt bike, you're mostly in your control. I mean, I know there's still accidents where
Yep.
you run into other people and stuff on trails, but like for the most part, and if you mess up, it's on you on a dirt bike most of the time. But on the road, it's like you could just be doing everything right and someone could, mow you over. So,
Yep. So here's obviously another YJ here, and this guy. I mean, I don't know how he survived this, but this dinosaur just like slammed it. I mean, it would have like broke his legs in half for sure.
hmm
'Cause that door closed right on the lower torso. I mean, well, lower
yeah,
part of his body.
this one seems like one of the more practical ones because it at least has a hardtop
Yeah,
on it. It's the factory hardtop. It looks like so.
yeah. It's a hardtop that they modified.
hmm
It looks a little different. It looks yeah. Well, maybe they just put like little screws or rivets in it or something to look like. I don't know. The windows are
Yeah,
definitely different. They're more squarer than they are round. But yeah, this is more of
yeah.
a practical
Mostly,
one.
yeah, mostly as compared to the other ones.
And then we have this is a cool Hummer. I don't know if
hmm
I don't know if any of you guys had the toy. I did. I had the toy
hmm
of the Hummer where um yeah, this little thing comes down and traps the dinosaurs or whatever. This Hummer here specifically is in the backlot tour of Universal Studios Hollywood. You know, just rotting away.
Yeah, it's a shame. Yeah, I remember as a kid, I had a few like Hummer toys. I had some Matchbox ones. I had like, you remember the movie Godzilla? Like they came out like
Yeah,
'96 or it came
yeah,
around
yeah. With Matthew
around this.
Broderick.
Yeah, it came out around the same time as The Lost World, and I remember
Yeah.
that they had a Hummer toy. I had that one. Yeah, so I liked Hummer. I think every kid
Oh
probably did
yeah, I thought
because
Hummers
it
were.
was like,
I thought they were badass. I mean, they're you
yeah,
know Hummers. You know, military like it's amazing.
yeah,
Yeah. I found a picture here of what it currently looks like. Let me bring it up. All right, so here's this is 2004, man, and this is how bad it looks back then. So you can only imagine what it looks like now. Um, yeah, these are old photos, 2004. This is where the Stegosaurus, where they held the Stegosaurus in the Lost World, and you know dinosaur bones. And here's the Explorer that's sitting in the back of Hollywood on the backlot tour.
yeah. I have some pictures of that from like 2008. It was like right around the time that I was looking to build an Explorer,
Yeah.
and I met some connections, and then they knew somebody who knew somebody who got access to the backlot, and they took a bunch of pictures of the Explorer, and
Oh yeah, that's cool.
it was looking bad back then, and but
You got to
there was
send
some
me
good.
those photos because I want to see those again.
Yeah, it was good pictures, man. They had like the paint was faded, but like the stripes on the hood
Yeah,
was
they're
still
still
was
yeah, and that's
it
how
was
you
still
use that one for like your
yeah.
reference for tracing, right? To add your stripes, your red stripes.
Yeah, exactly. Because there was no shots in the movie of direct on the hood, right? It was always at an angle or whatever. And this guy that had taken those pictures for us had taken some pictures like dead on of the hood, and it was faded, but you could still see the outline of the stripes and everything. So I literally took that and traced it, and then cut some prototypes, and um, yeah, that was hugely helpful
Yeah,
because like the one at Alan's Adventure had been repainted by that point already. So.
yeah. Hey, Steven Stone, if you're still with us, shoot me some photos on my Facebook. Message me some photos on my Facebook of your ML. Send all that you have so I can kind of show everybody your project, your little truck ML.
Yeah, I think that's one of the more interesting projects I'm following now. Like, I mean, a lot of people are doing Explorers, a lot of people are doing Jeeps, but like the ML is still mostly uncharted. I mean,
Yep.
people have
There's
done
very few
pretty
that done it.
close,
Yeah,
yeah, but like I haven't really seen like actual fiberglass work yet
yeah,
on a ML build. I've seen some metal work.
yeah.
Um,
The ones that tackle take on the ML build from the Lost World, like I mean, you guys have my utmost respect
mhm.
because I mean those
That's a
are
lot. That's a
that's a
lot of
bit of a
work.
that's a good project to work on. But I mean, I know at the end it's absolutely worth it. You know, once this thing, I know it doesn't say Jurassic World, I mean Lost World on there or Jurassic Park on there, and some people might not know what it is. But even if they don't know what it is, they'll probably still look twice and be like, man, that's a interesting,
Interesting,
cool
yeah.
looking
It's not,
vehicle.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some people doing the like mock-ups and foam of like the boxes and stuff, but I haven't actually seen anyone mold pieces yet or
Yeah.
make like fiberglass pieces. It's still kind of, from what I've seen, people are in like the planning, stage of it. So
Yep. So here's Carter enjoying his drive in this Jeep here. This is the one that has the extended, the seat that kind of extends outwards.
what do they call? They had a name for it, didn't they?
Um,
Bring up the
the toy, right? Or which one?
no in the movie they say bring up the something the snatcher or
Oh yeah, yeah. I
the
don't remember.
the roundup or something like they had a I think they named it. I think if I remember right, it's been a little bit since I've seen the movie, but I think they
Yeah,
said they had some name. Maybe it was the Hummer that they had a name for. I don't know. A couple of them are
yeah.
loosely named in the movie.
So Jonathan Raft says, "I need to go to bed, y'all. Have a good night." All right, Jonathan Raft. Thanks for stopping by. I know he works early
See
in
ya,
the
John.
morning, so I will see you in the next live show. Okay. Yeah, I don't remember the name, but you can see the little details here. This is man, this vehicle is wide. You can tell. I mean, the windshield ends right here, but you can see they added like another 6 inches to the frame to the body. This weird round thing, and then you can see these straps right here, which look like they don't really do anything because this looks pretty sealed.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. Again, here's
Oh,
the YJ dashboard, and you can see this little black tape. I'm not sure what that is. I wonder if it's the same tape the same decal that the first Jeep has in the first movie.
hmm. Oh yeah, yeah. Snagger, yeah, in the chat.
Snagger. Okay.
Here you go. Yeah, I think they say
Snagger.
that. I think they say bring the snagger or something like that. They
Okay, I gotta rewatch it and see what they say.
yeah, it's something like that. It might not be that Jeep. I remember they called one of the vehicles that. I think it was that one.
I wonder where this one is. Have you seen any photos of this one? Of the one with the one that extends out?
I've seen some pictures, like pre-production pictures, like when they made it, and
But you
yeah,
haven't
this one.
seen where it ended up?
No, I think that was the one that's all wrecked.
Maybe, huh?
Maybe.
That's what I was thinking as well. We'll get
Which
to those photos.
yeah, we'll get to that. But yeah, because that one's unique because it has like the fiberglass.
Yeah.
Like it's got. I mean, you could. It's. I'm not sure it's fiberglass, but it looks. Anytime you do like smooth curves like that, it's most likely fiberglass. Like um, most of the time the metal work is like the hard edges. This seems very complex and bubbly. So There we go. Yes, yes. Snagger is just about to,
It
yeah,
might be. It might
come
be.
cross
It
your
might be a
path out of
dinosaur
there.
that he's saying though, because um, he does say Elvis when he's talking about one of the dinosaurs. So
Uh,
he might be.
yeah.
I don't know. I gotta rewatch it.
No, he just said, yeah, yeah. Snagger is just about to cross your path.
Okay,
Is he talking about the car, right? Snag. I always thought it was the
I have
car.
to
Maybe,
rewatch it.
maybe it's the dinosaur.
I know
Huh.
Lego.
I don't
Lego.
know.
I know Lego. Jurassic World. Has a name for all those vehicles, so it might have it on there actually.
Oh, really?
I might have it on there, but so today I'm drinking out of this Starbucks Isla Nublar coffee mug here. You can get those on my Etsy store, which is Jurassic Fic. I'm currently running a 20% off special. Very, very temporary sale because I mean that's a really good deal. So go to Etsy, go to my store, Jurassic Fic, go buy everything on there. You know, support each other, help each other out. A lot of Jurassic Park stuff on there, different mugs and T-shirts and any of the T-shirts I have on there, I can actually put them onto a hoodie. So if you guys need a Jurassic Park hoodie, actually I made this one too. Oh, pink camo. So that's
Hmm.
on there as well if you guys want that. So anyway, little plug there. All right, moving on. So we see Timbo here. Timbo's always happy.
Hmm.
Okay, let's talk about this wench, Brandon.
It is a very rare winch. Yeah, they have like there's a 8,000 version, which is much more common. But yeah, this is the 5,000. It's
Five
a
thousand.
yeah, which is a little odd too, because it's a Warren M5000. But if you look at the specs, I believe it's actually rated till 6,000 pounds.
Yeah,
But they named it 5,000 for whatever, I don't know. But yeah, I actually have one. Um, Nevin, who's local here to Orlando, you've met Nevin several times. He was thinking about building an ML,
he should
and
have.
and he found this winch on Marketplace, I think. Maybe it's Craigslist. I can't remember. This was a few years ago, and it was in Orlando. And so he drove down, and like we went together. Just it's anytime you buy stuff online, it's better to go with someone, like at least one other person
Yeah,
normally.
of course.
So I went with Nevin, and he bought it, and
Oh,
then
he ended up buying it. So he has a screen
yeah,
accurate one.
yeah, he
Oh,
did. He sold it to me.
oh,
He
so
ended up
now you have
he
it.
well he ended up having a kid, and I'm sure kids are expensive, and
They are. I've heard.
that's definitely your priority, in life when you have a kid is you know your hobbies kind of take a slower role for sure. Um, but yeah, he was like, hey, do you want to like you know I talked about maybe building an ML down the road. It's a little rough. I mean, it's it's in good shape mechanically, like it works fine, but like it
Yeah.
needs paint. It needs paint, and like the stickers are all like kind of messed up. But the good thing is you can still buy the stickers on eBay. So I got a set of the stickers for it, and they're actually worn. It was the manufacturer worn. They're OEM stickers too, so they're not reproductions. They're actual foil. So I just haven't. It's kind of been shelved because I'm like I'm going back and forth between whether or not I want to build one or not. But it was such a rare winch that I was like, well, I think it was only like $70. So I mean, for any winch, it's like $70 is not that much.
Okay.
So yeah, I went ahead and picked it up just in case. But
Oh, so I got hold on. I got breaking news here. Um, so it looks like so I guess Sloan is part Sloan and part Derek. I guess they're both on there. And Derek just sent me a photo. Let's see if I can bring it up. Okay, here it is. There you
Nathan
go.
just
There you go. It's
Nathan
confirmed.
Nathan just joined me down here for a little bit.
Hello,
Yeah, he's
Nathan.
painted. He says hello. Sorry, I have the headset on, so you can't hear the actual audio. But thumbs up.
What am I doing here? I lost the chat here. Hold on. Chat room. Where are you? Oh, here you are. Okay,
This is cool
so
over there. Or
so
pull up the chair.
yeah, so you can see here confirms that this is from Derek. It says Hunter Humvee Snagger. So
So
yeah,
okay, so
you
the
guys are
Humvee was the
yeah,
snagger.
the Humvee
Yeah,
was a
okay.
snagger. And
Okay.
that's interesting. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I couldn't
cool.
remember. I was like, it was either the Jeep or the Hummer. Like I was like, one of them. So I get
I like how they named a lot of these vehicles. You know, like what's the Explorer is what the Jungle Explorer or
yeah,
something.
that was probably just for the toys
Hmm.
because they couldn't use like Jeep or
Yeah,
Ford.
I guess
But
that makes sense.
I mean, it made
I still
sense.
like the names though. Than the Bush Tracker or Devil Tracker or something. What is that one called?
Yeah, that's less of my favorite. I think like I don't know, it just that was a little awkward. But the Explorer one, Jungle Explorer, that okay makes sense.
Okay, so there you have
But
it. So the Hummer is what that's called. And somebody in the chat says they're saying, "Hey Vic, the windshield hinges look like the original hinges of the YG that support the mirrors. Windshield hinges.
I've heard that
Oh
before.
yeah,
The okay,
that support the mirrors. No, I think.
like the hood. Do you want the hood hinges for
Hmm.
the?
I don't even think. I don't know what hinges those are.
They're not the windshield hinges because the windshield hinges they're like squared.
Yeah, they have a square. They have a square end to it. One side's like a triangle. The other side's like a little like a rectangle, tiny square rectangle looking thing. And this, I don't know. It might just be some random hinges that you get at a hardware store. I mean, I'm not
I
sure.
I did see someone mention that maybe the you know the pickup ML, how they modified the tailgate to swing open. Someone said that they look like YJ hinges, like YJ tailgate hinges, which is possible. I haven't really
The one with the hardtop.
verified. No, sorry, like we're going back a little bit. Not the Hunter vehicles, but the MLs, like the pickup ML,
Oh, the truck. Oh
the truck.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Those do.
someone
I did notice that, and they do kind of look like YJ tailgate hinges. But
someone said that, and I'm
I
like,
don't think so. I don't think they are.
no, I haven't really looked at it. I just saw it as a comment. I was
It
like,
looks very close. I mean, it could be. I could be wrong. It does look a little close, but I feel like they're kind of too flat. I don't know. There's something strange about the hinge.
I haven't really looked into it much, but I'm sure they probably, I mean, use some kind of a existing hinge. I mean, it's easier to,
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
make something work than to make a whole new
It
one.
definitely looks like no. It definitely does look like the hinge for a YJ. Honestly, 'cause I thought about that as well. Um, but I don't even think this thing opens because this one here looks like it's not even a hinge.
Yeah, which I was asking too. I'm like,
Yeah, look
does
at
it
it.
even
It curves. It curves.
does it even open?
It curves
Yeah,
inwards right here. It has like a little inward curve, a
mm,
downward. I mean, it curves into the bumper, over the bumper. And here, there's nothing. There's no
there's nothing.
hinge. It's just a flat
Yeah,
piece.
it's just flat. Yeah.
Uh,
So I was asking Phil, I was like, hey, did you have you noticed if the hinges were does it look like the gate actually opens or not? And he hadn't looked at the time, and
okay.
it's been off of display for a while. So I mean,
Yeah, yeah. That's a good
but
question. Yeah, I'm wondering the same thing. If I really doubt it because
well,
that Jeep wasn't designed to do that. I don't think.
go back to the shot at Alan's Adventure. So for the longest time now, it's been backed up against the Stegosaurus there, or
Yeah.
the Spinosaurus. So we couldn't really get back there to even see if it was real or not.
Okay.
So it might open, it might not. I don't know. It's never opened in the movie, so it leads me to believe that it probably didn't work because I'm sure they would have had it open maybe at some point.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. That thing looks so bad.
I mean, you don't really need it. I mean, if it's open like that, I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't know. If I made one, I would probably try to make it functional, but then it might not look right, you know. So
Yeah.
it's like I would rather go
Yeah. I
for the
probably
looks.
wouldn't. Hey, Steven Stone, do you have a functional trunk? What did you do? Because I did notice that I think you have hinges on. I think you put hinges on his. So I'm wondering if Steven Stone has a functional trunk.
See, I would think you'd have to add reinforcements there because that's just like sheet metal. It's bolted to. I
Yeah.
mean, you'd have to like do something to like underneath to reinforce it because it's not meant to do that. You know what I mean?
Yep. So back to the winch. The winch. Yeah, this was a 6,000 pound winch. This 6,000 pound winch was supposed to keep the mobile lab from going over the cliff. So it's not gonna hold. I don't know how many tons that thing is, but it's definitely not gonna hold with this 6,000 pound rated winch.
Yeah, which is funny too because this is the high hide scene, right, where they use it
Yeah,
to
yeah.
lift up.
This is for the high hide.
Which, if you buy any winch all over it, it's like this is not meant to carry people. Like, do not lift a person with this winch. It's not rated. Yeah, because for the military simulation that we do, um, a lot of like some of the helicopters have like hoists, like for like the Coast Guard and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And you'd think for training you could just buy some cheap winch or something or whatever to make it work, but no, we have to buy like human rated winches, and it's a whole thing. They have to have special brakes and all kinds of special stuff
Wow.
if you're gonna be lifting people with it. So kind of interesting to note.
Yeah. So don't lift people with this
Don't
winch.
lift people. Yeah, it's definitely not a thing that the manufacturer recommends.
Okay, another interior shot of the RV. Now, this is interesting because you can see whenever you're watching the movie, pay attention to this top window right here. You can see the water just pouring into the interior, and you can tell right here there's this puddle of water. Like that's a puddle, and it's just like you can see it continuously just drip. Not even drip. It just pours into the interior. So you can tell that. I mean, these things were designed for just to film the movie and obviously nothing else. I mean, so many corners are cut putting these vehicles together.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense. It just has to look good, and I've heard it mentioned before that they had those things have to be removable so they can get cameras in and out and stuff.
Yeah.
So so you mentioned the leaky window. So I've seen people before, um, chastise the Explorer for the same reason. Oh, look, you can see in some shots there's like water dripping in and stuff. The shots that they were leaking for the most part were the cutaway vehicles. Like they didn't have doors or anything. They had like tarps covering like where they were filming. So like the tarps were basically leaking and like the Explorers were basically cutaway trucks. Like they weren't even sealed.
Yeah.
So it's not always fair to, you know, like this one right here that's leaking could be just for interior shots possibly. But the Hero one, the one that drives around, could be sealed. It could be perfectly fine. It's just I mean this is probably an interior shot one. It's probably not the Hero truck, the drivable or Hero RV.
Yep. So I want to give a shout out to Derek Dorman. So it looks like Derek Dorman just bought is a proud owner of one of my coffee mugs now. He bought a Mr. DNA mug. I would like to show you a picture, but as you can see, it's just white. Oh wait, there it goes. I mean, you probably can't see it anyways, but yeah, there's a little picture of a Mr. DNA mug that I have on my Etsy store. So shout out to Derek Dorman and Sloan Iverson for your generous purchase. Okay, so now we have the beautiful is it Fontana? Is that what this one's called, right? Fontana is a yeah, so Montana is the one with the box on the roof, on the hood, and then Fontana is the one with the dome on the top.
Hannah Fontana, yeah.
Hannah Fontana. And so here's that scene here. This is they're pulling up. Oh, and I want to show you this scene here because this is when the RV has already flipped over and they're trying to get out by kicking the door open. But as you can see, Jeff Goldblum stomps the hell out of Vince Vaughn's hand. Take that, Vince Vaughn. Yeah, he like totally just stomps. I mean, I wouldn't mind Jeff Goldblum stomping on my hand as well. It's Jeff Goldblum, you know.
That's funny. I never noticed that.
Yep. Oh, you can, yeah, you can see he kicks, and then as soon as he kicks, you can see Vince Vaughn's hand move down, and you can see him in pain there. All right, so this is and then this is I guess Santana, right? The truck. So this is the truck coming in. Eddie Carr's coming in hot to try to save his colleagues from a horrible exploding death. In this scene here, you can see that it does not have a roof. It's missing the glass. There's no glass or anything. Completely wide open.
And you can see circle, square, square, circle, which we had said what? Who was paying attention, kids? This is a pop
You were,
quiz. Actually, I don't
yeah,
even know. I don't even know as well. So hold on. I need to get back to my reference notes here. So the one with the yeah. So the one that we saw with just the boxes. Let's move back to that. So just the boxes, you can see it has square, circle, circle, square. No boxes in the back, right? Square, circle, circle, square. This is a Hawaii shot. These shots are in California. This is like Northern California, I think, or somewhere in California. And then you can see here, no, it has a circle, square, square, circle. So this is the one that's at Islands of Adventure, at least one of the ones that are at Islands of Adventure. And then here,
Okay, here there's no glass up here, and in this scene it has a glass roof now, which I think is better because why would you have a vehicle that has no windows? That doesn't make any sense to me. Even if it's supposed to be like this cool off-road thing, I mean, put some damn windows on there. Come on, what are you thinking? You're in the rainforest. You think it's not going to rain?
So that's another bummer thing about the pickup one too. So even if you put the snap-on roof, or like you made it where the flat piece of plexi was like snap-on, the rear windows, like all the molding and everything is removed. You see that?
Yeah.
Like there's no gasket for the windows at all, and the rear window, it's missing like the little quarter, like the little like quarter piece, right? Like most SUVs have that little quarter section.
Does this have a quarter? It's supposed to have a quarter section?
Well, it did, and they removed it. So if you look at,
Oh, I do see it.
you see that? You see what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So you couldn't even really seal it up if you wanted to. It's got to be like open or not, if you want to be accurate. I mean, I guess you could leave the windows in, but then it wouldn't be
You
accurate.
can
I don't.
see
I mean,
here. Shout out to Baptiste. This is his stuff here. Yeah, you can see right here that has like the little quarter piece right there, right?
the little quarter glass, and it has a little. Yeah, it's stationary. It doesn't move, right?
Yeah.
Um. So if you did the truck, it's got to be like all or nothing, pretty much, right? I mean, which you could do. You could put the diamond plate, and rhino line it and stuff, and make it water. Water. Resistant or whatever, but that's a
Okay.
commitment.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna get wet if you
All
try.
or
If you try.
nothing. Yeah.
So
Okay. So let's see back of the chat here.
Santana's pickup.
Yep. So the one at Universal was used for the T-Rex attack for both the first Rex encounter and the windshield attack. Um, I know it was used. No, it's actually it's not the just the encounter it was used. It was used. Okay, so let's get back to this real quick before I move forward. So this is a scene where Eddie's about to try to get these guys to pull him over the RV. We're gonna get to Hugo back in a second because this is where we're heading, and it's something I want to talk about. It's important. So remember how I told you the ones out the truck at Islands of Adventure doesn't have a pocket, and also in this scene right here it doesn't have a pocket. As you can see, no pocket here, right? There's no like little indentation where you can slip your hand in, and this is like I said, it's the only vehicle that has that characteristic. So if you go back to this scene here, there's a pocket. So there's a pocket here, and there's a cut right here. And then you could see that this one was designed to break apart, the roof to break apart, and the cut is here, clearly right there, and then right there. And there's also cuts like on the inside of the frame here, the A pillar, and then also, just back here and right here and there, and then the roof comes right off.
hmm
Let me see if I can pull up some reference
Um,
photos. Yeah, go ahead.
Xander Soros in the chat says, does Universal Studios Japan and Singapore have screen use vehicles from Jurassic Park / Jurassic World franchise? So they have some of the Lost World Jeeps, which I guess we'll go over at the end. Did the pictures?
Oh yeah, we'll have some of the Jeeps as the vehicles as they currently sat or how they last sat.
But yeah, they do the overseas ones. Yeah, they do have some of the engine Jeeps.
Yep. So okay, so again, this vehicle, two of them, two of these MLs, have this cut right here. One of them, which is the Islands of Adventure, doesn't have this cup. And so, as you can see right here in this scene, you can see where it breaks away. There's like a little gap right here. You can see the cut, and there's like this blurry thing is bolts. Those are bolts that are holding this top on. And so, four low. So he's in four-wheel drive now, and then these are my favorite scenes, honestly, in the entire movie. Right next to the cliff scene is my favorite in the entire movie. And as you can see here, he's just like spinning the tires, and it's funny because right here I actually think he's in rear-wheel drive, but then like later on you can see he's in four-wheel drive even before he puts on four low. So the entire time he's in four-wheel drive, and actually what's interesting is. I actually just figured out how they're making this vehicle slide all over the place. So basically, as you can see, and when you're watching the clip, if you pay attention, you can see in the mud, in the water, there's some cables pulling. There's a cable pulling the rear corner section of this side, and then cables pulling the rear quarter of the rear quarter of the section this side. And so that's how they accomplish the whole, kind of fishtailing like this, whenever they were filming, they're filming that. So actually, you know what? That scene, yeah, that's one of my favorite scenes. So, how about we watch it? Take this, YouTube. Now look at that. Awesome. And you can see the cables.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Right here, you can see the cables. You can see it in the mud. Did you see that? Did you catch that? Let's watch that again. Come on, Eddie, you can do it. See, if you look on the right side, you can see them. You can see the most obvious. Four low. That's right here. Yeah, you can see him in the mud there.
That was pretty cool. Like that scene. Yeah.
Oh, I
with
love that scene.
All the wheels spinning
Absolutely.
and stuff. That was neat. Yeah.
Yep. I remember as a kid, I would replay the scene with my toys. I had the RV, I had the Mercedes, and I would put like on the edge of my bed or something like that. And I remember being a kid and just like, getting in the truck and just being like, like going like this. And I was like, man, because it looks just so cool. You see this thing, all four wheels are spinning, mud and water splashing all over the place. You got all these lights blaring. And he's just trying to, pull back this RV. So I mean, they definitely nailed that scene, like, for sure.
Which is funny, like, and then later when you actually go off-roading, you're like, oh, I can see actually trying to move the steering wheel and trying to get better traction and stuff. You can actually understand what he was trying to do there. Yeah.
Yep.
That was cool.
Yep. So, okay, let's see. Can everybody see us okay? Are we still looking okay? Because I got like an error saying that not enough, it's not receiving enough video to maintain a smooth stream, whatever that means.
Looks fine to me.
Yeah, I think it's okay. I think just, I don't know, whatever. Okay, so in this scene, yeah, you can see and also the Islands of Adventure Jeep, not Jeep, ML, the Islands of Adventure ML, is the one that performs this scene, because if you look closely, I was watching this thing like pretty much frame by frame to get these clips, and you can see like in the glare of the lighting at one point you can see the rear handle and it doesn't have the cup. So the one sitting at Islands of Adventure is this specific Jeep. So that thing needs to be protected.
A Jeep? Wait. Did you just call it a Jeep?
I'm gonna call it a Jeep. It's a Jeep Wrangler or a Ford Explorer. Which one would you prefer?
It's all of them.
It's a Jeep Explorer.
So an interesting thing to note too is you mentioned that's probably the one at Islands Adventure.
Yep.
We'll
probably.
go. Well,
I don't think it's probably. I think it is.
Most likely.
Most likely.
The pictures we saw from Universal, the winch plate is like bent down, like as if it had been like tugging on something, like it Like the custom winch plate that they had made
Hmm.
is like bending down.
Okay.
So
And
maybe
you sent me that picture, right?
yeah. So it
Okay.
might have gotten damaged when they were filming this scene. Because I mean, you're talking about. I mean, that's if they just fabricated, it's basically like a U. The winch plate that they made is like a U-shaped thing. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that one.
You're talking about this one here?
Yeah. So if you look at that picture, that's at Alan's
Okay.
Adventure.
Yeah, it is. It does seem like it's a little down. You mean like bending downwards, right? Like it's
Yeah.
okay.
So like almost like it got like stretched, like kind of like pulled.
Hmm.
So maybe that happened during filming. Maybe that's why it's like that. I don't know.
Yep. No, that is why you're right because I'm right.
It's just speculation, but
It
I
is
mean, it's fun
speculation,
to
but
be.
it's fact. It's a speculated fact.
Can you see it? It's not. You have my chat's like covering the.
Sorry. Here you go.
I'm like, well, you
Let
can't
me
see
let me
the
let me try to. I
the
don't know.
pan over.
I don't know how to move this. Oh, there it goes.
You need to download the other photo viewer. But
Okay.
yeah, see how it's kind of bent? Like it's kind of like
Yeah.
sagging. Like that's the winch plate without the bumper on it.
Yep. And
And
this one's
it looks
this one's manual. This is a manual ML. So
yeah.
and then in that scene it was a manual ML because there's automatic ones. I guess the ones that the actors drive,
Mhm.
and then you have these that are manual for those stunts.
Stunts and stuff. But yeah, you can see how it's drooping. It looks like it may. I mean, I guess it could have gotten damaged after the fact. I mean, someone could
Yeah,
have
of
stood on it or
course.
something. But that's pretty thick steel. That's probably a quarter inch, probably.
Yeah.
I'd guess. So it looks like it may have gotten damaged in filming.
And they cut that off now, right? Like that. I don't think that's on
Oh
there
yeah,
anymore.
yeah. In its current state now, like that is cut off, and they put a different bumper on, which is a
So
pretty.
weird.
It's
So
pretty.
bad.
It's a sorry
Very,
replacement.
very sorry.
It's not. Yeah.
Okay.
Someone says, okay, it's probably the only manual out of the six. The one that Ari took pictures of, was that a stick? Or was that, I mean,
Um, I'm gonna have to pull those photos up because I don't remember.
or was it covered by like netting or something? I can't remember. But yeah, I mean,
I think it's automatic. Let me see if I can try to pull it up real quick if you want to talk about it for a little bit.
but I mean, it would kind of make sense if that winch plate got messed up because I'm sure it wasn't really rated for what they were doing with this. Like, you know, so.
Okay, I found the pictures. So here you go. This is the one that's in Frankfurt. As you can still see, it's still like in pretty pristine condition, and you can see here square, circle, circle, square. So
Yeah,
this is and it has the cup in the back.
yeah, and
It
these are
doesn't have
recent. Yeah, these are recent pictures too.
yeah.
Like
This is from
Ari,
last year.
yeah, Ari was there what late last year.
Yeah, it's super
So
impressive. Look, it still looks fantastic.
mostly, yeah,
Hey,
mostly,
this is different, isn't it? Does it have this little bar in
yeah,
that one image?
yeah. I'm pretty sure they all have that. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. It looked kind of weird. I mean, I'm assuming it needs it for the support, but let me make sure I'm not seeing things. Yep, look, it's missing the bar.
Oh, what?
The
Oh,
bar
which one?
on. Oh, sorry, you're not seeing.
I can't see anything yet.
Sorry about this bar. Look, it's not there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess it's not. All right. Yeah, that's the high hide scene.
Yeah.
Huh. That is interesting. Yeah, I never noticed that.
Yes. Scoreboard Victor.
Mm-hmm.
You better erase this video.
But,
Okay,
but yeah,
so.
yeah, see if it's automatic though. I'm actually
Okay,
curious.
so
I
let's
don't-
scroll
I
through these
don't remember.
photos. This is the one in Frankfurt, Germany. It's still in, I mean, amazing condition. It's been in private hands this long. You can see the winch here. The winch here. It's M5000. 5,000 pounds. There you go. I knew.
Well,
I thought
see,
it was. I thought
no,
it was
I-
5,000 pounds.
I'm pretty sure it's a 6,000 pound winch though. That's what I said earlier. I think if you look up the specs, it's 6,000, which is confusing because they named it 5,000. It doesn't make much sense, but
Oh, man, this is so cool, man. I wish I could see this in person. But after he posted this, honestly, I was really considering on trying to book a flight over to there somehow, to specifically just to see this because I know it's only here temporarily on display.
oh, Ryan R is leaving the chat. Good night. Have a good night.
See you, Ryan. Thanks for joining us. So
It
hopefully I'll
is
see you in
getting
the next one.
it's getting a little late. But yeah, I was in DC when Ari posted those, and I was like, damn it! Like I want to build one now again
Yep.
because I've been going back and forth, Um, but yeah, just seeing pictures like that, I'm like, damn it, that would be really cool. But a lot of work.
Yeah, yeah, I want to build one too, but yeah, it does require a lot of work and a lot of fabricating too. I'm sure there's a lot of metal pieces that you need to bend and weld,
Hmm.
steel or whatever you would call it.
Well, we talked about this earlier too. Like some of them are fiberglass, like this one, like a lot of the metal parts are fiberglass.
Yeah,
But I think the one in Hollywood is metal.
there you go. It's automatic.
Oh, is it auto? Okay, so
Ew.
yeah, so maybe the one, yeah, maybe there was only the one manual, which is the one at IOA.
Such a beautiful car though, man. Such a cool build.
But like even look at this, like the interior colors are not consistent. Like this one's like all gray, but the
Oh,
Allen's Adventure
sorry.
one's tan.
Yeah,
Oh no,
yeah.
so
They're
this one's
all
like
they're
this,
all like different colors. I didn't notice that.
yeah, this one's like a light tan and a gray, and the one at IOA is like a like a caramel tan,
Caramel,
caramel,
caramel, caramel,
caramel.
caramel,
Hmm.
caramel.
It's a rich tan.
A rich tan. Hmm.
There you go. How about that? Um,
Yeah, you can see this one here. It doesn't look like it's built to come apart. Like it's all
no, this
there's no
this
seams
this
here.
there's no seams. Yeah. So this was probably the hero one that they really drove around, like the one you see like the shot that you like where the RV is driving.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That was definitely this is the one that was following the
that's the
RV in
one.
Hawaii.
Yeah.
So beautiful though. Like why can't I have this? I need this. Hey, Steven Stone, how much you want to sell your truck for? Probably too much, huh?
You have to sell some more mugs,
I gotta sell many mugs
mini
and
mugs.
pouches.
He'll give you 250 mugs for your ML.
250. Yeah, but I mean the craftsmanship is so interesting on this thing. Like what they did to every little piece. I mean, there's an interior. I mean, yeah, this one's diamond plated.
Okay, yeah. Hugo says it looks more of a gray. Is it gray? It might be two-tone gray. I do know like they're all not consistent, and they're not even consistent with the final production ones too. Like I
Yeah,
said,
yeah, they're all very different.
I think you could probably get something close. Like with the production ones, you probably have to like mix and match. You'd probably have to go to a junkyard and get like the top part of a dash from one,
Yeah.
and then get like a tan bottom part from another one. Like to get it 100% accurate to any of them, I think you would have to kind of mix and match. I'm not sure though. Like I said, this is just things that I'm thinking that would be like challenges if
Yeah.
you want to make one 100%
Yeah.
accurate.
I mean, when it comes to something like this, I wouldn't really
Like
focus too
honestly,
much on the
yeah.
accuracy, I guess, because there's so much
There's,
fabrication involved that, to be focused
well,
on.
I guess the good thing is there's so much inconsistency that it
Yeah.
actually it's probably better for us because you can kind of take some artistic license. It's not like the first movie where like the Jeeps and Explorers were like mostly identical.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
you had a strict guideline, like you can't change interior colors. Like if you had an Explorer with a gray interior, it's not going to be it's noticeable. Whereas these, if you have a tan interior, if a gray interior, it's no one would notice. Even people, even us, we have to go through this and pick it apart to even notice. But like I said, the tan interior on the Explorer, that's noticeable.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But man, this car is just so pretty, man. The colors are just so nice.
Oh yeah, Steven says he mixed interiors. Yeah, I think that would be the
Yeah.
only way you could get, which would be kind of cool too. I mean, it'd make it unique. I would probably do that. I would take the top part of one and the tan and the of the tan bottom with the yeah.
Yep.
I mean, like I said, these are pretty common in the junkyards, at least near me. I mean,
Mhm.
like every yard around me has at least one. So, and
I'm
it
just
wouldn't be
so
that.
I'm just so impressed on how how well kept this vehicle is. I mean, it looks like it's been in a museum most of its life. Like I don't see
Well,
like
it
any
has, right?
sun
I mean,
damages or
yeah.
sun fades or cracks. Like, I mean, this thing is amazing.
I think we're just used to seeing
Yes,
what we
trash.
normally see. Yeah. So I mean, this isn't in great shape. I mean, it's not like
I think it's in pretty good
perfect.
shape because I mean, look
It's
at it.
pretty
This
good,
thing is
but
built so bad. I mean, it's built for
yeah,
filming purposes, so it's not built to last. But I
yeah.
mean,
I mean,
look at it. Like,
considering,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it looks fine. I mean, it's obviously it's not pristine, but I mean, there's like little things here and there like this, but
Oh yeah. Go back. You can see the fiberglass there. See, that's
yeah,
fiberglass. That's totally. You can see the weave and or the mat. Um, which, like I said, so someone told me, I forget who it was, but someone was like, "Oh, no, it was metal. Like I touched it. It was metal." So maybe that's the one in Hollywood was like the master. Because
maybe.
what you like, we talked about this earlier, Vic, but like you would make a master piece out of metal or something, and then you would copy it out of fiberglass
Yeah.
for the other five trucks you had to
Hmm.
make. So I bet one of them has metal pieces, and the
It's
other
got to
one,
be
the rest,
Hollywood. It's got to be
that one
Hollywood.
that one's probably metal, and then they made a mold and cast the rest of them out of fiberglass. Because that was the first thing I thought when I saw it. I was like, oh, is it fiberglass? Because like it's light, right? I mean, it's
Hmm.
not as heavy as metal. It's easier to duplicate. You make a mold and you make as many as you want. Where metal, you can't really make a mold with metal. I mean, you can make dyes and you can make like things, dyes to like stamp things. But for this, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't make. I mean, they used the dye to make the little dimples, but as far as the overall shape, there's that's all handmade metal fab, like for the design. But I'm willing to bet that they made a mold of the final piece, and
Yeah.
then they would all match perfectly, and it's painted anyways too. It's not like it's bare stainless or bare whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
they painted them like that gray. So what does it matter? You can't tell. And yeah, yeah, those tires are discontinued. Yeah, the mud. What are they called?
I think they're Dunlops, right, or
Yeah,
something.
Dunlop Mud something.
Yeah,
Dunlop
Dunlop Radial Mud Rover.
Mud Rover. That was it.
Yeah.
Rover. Yeah. Yeah, that size is discontinued. It's a 16-inch rim, I think, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
16-inch
Two,
rim,
two, 230,
265, 75,
265.
16.
Apparently, you can still get them in like 15s and stuff, but like
Oh
that
man,
exact
non
that exact
16s.
that exact size is not available apparently. I would probably get the I would probably get like a BFG mud terrain or some. I mean,
Yeah, I think a mud
like
terrain would be a nice match for that.
yeah. I mean, at least the letters are not showing.
Yeah,
It's so critical on the Explorer and the Jeep from the first movie because it's so apparent what they are. I mean,
yeah,
this is like, yeah, okay. I mean, you can't really, yeah,
yeah. You can see
I,
in one scene where the tire is back in the shop scene where the tire is turned to the right. You can see the like the white lettering on the inside.
yeah, yeah, the letters on the inside. I wouldn't be concerned about getting the right tires.
Hey, what are these right here? There's used to be a light right here,
It's a
right?
light there, yeah.
Oh,
Which I think that's one of the inconsistent things too. I think some shots, some they have the lights
yeah,
and some of them
I
don't.
see a light on some of them, but that one I don't ever see a light. I guess I can go back to. Yeah, there's nothing there. I don't know what those screws are for.
Maybe they decided against it, or
Maybe.
yeah.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, because I don't ever see a light on the truck version. I do see on the other version this light.
Right. Yep. Yeah, I think in the movie there's no. Yeah, I remember that because I was gonna buy one of those lights because I was like, well, maybe I should look for that. If like as we've discussed earlier, like if you want to build one of these cars, start with the parts because
Yeah.
you're gonna be disappointed really quick when you start building things, when you start building your car and you're at a standstill because you don't have parts. I'd rather buy the parts first and then I could always resell them
Yeah.
for probably what you paid. I mean, if not more. Um, yeah, and I looked into that light and I'm like, well, if I built one, it would probably be the pickup one. Oh, but it doesn't have the light on it, and they don't have the go lights and stuff. So
Okay, and then again, more scenes of it pulling. You can see the I guess it has the roof on there as well. Then you can see he gets his tranquilizer gun or whatever this is stuck on this netting. And it's really interesting because I remember the first time I saw that vehicle when I was a kid. I remember looking inside to see if it still had that netting in there, and it does. So that's kind of
Hmm.
cool. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it
Terrible
actually that
design for this purpose, but yeah.
yeah, it did him in, right? That
Yep.
was the
That was you shouldn't have gotten that upgrade on it.
no.
Yeah, you can see all the water pouring in right here. You can see it's just pouring straight in from the window, from the top window.
Yeah, so impractical. I mean, like
Yep.
it looks cool, but it's like that. I mean, if I was going camping or whatever, that would not be the car I would choose.
Yeah. Absolutely not. And in this scene here, you can see this is the other vehicle that gets the one that's built to come completely apart. This one has the little cupping in the rear door handle there. So yeah, you can see this is wasn't the one that was used for that's at Islands of Adventure. So again, rest in peace, Eddie Carr.
Oh, in the chat too, Tread Right.
Yeah,
Okay, so yeah, Tread Right is a company who they retread tires. Um, and yeah, I guess that's an option. You could probably maybe find a casing that was accurate and have it retreaded or something. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. I mean, I know people looked into Tread Right for the BFGs, but because the actual sidewalls and casings are so old, they won't retread them. They're too old.
Um.
But yeah, Tread Right's actually pretty cool. They'll put like sand and stuff in the rubber to like give it more grip and stuff. Like they're
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
yeah they'll do like custom treads. I mean, it's been years since I've looked into it, but it did seem pretty cool.
So this scene right here is very interesting. This is, from what I understand, this was filmed on location. This wasn't filmed inside of a studio, and this is something I thought about before because this here is the inside of Site B of their like I guess their facility, whatever. This one was built in the backlot of Universal Studios
Mm.
Hollywood. I mean, you can't see it anymore because unfortunately they just demolished it last year. But up until last year, it still existed. And yeah, this
Well,
one, this right here.
yeah, it was used for other productions too, right?
Well, this specific one was used for this movie, and then it was used for Jurassic Park Part Three. Part Three is the same thing.
But like other movies too, though, there was some other.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well, it was on the back lot, so they used it
Yeah.
for some other. Like I don't think anything like crazy, but I think they used it for other things too.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But
Like
whenever,
it was like a zombie movie or something.
maybe.
Like where they needed like a derelict like buildings and stuff.
Hmm.
I think it's been used in other movies.
Yeah, but whenever they run in, like Vince Vaughn is sitting there looking around, or Nick Van Owen, he comes into this mule right here, and I really doubt it, but I was wondering if that mural was still in there whenever it was demolished, because this was inside that building, like because you can
Was
see
it?
when it runs inside, you can see the mural when he opens the door.
Huh. I'm willing to bet they probably took that out.
Yeah, probably. But that's a nice mural. I'd like to have that in my bedroom or my
I bet
living
I
room.
bet I bet someone from the production crew has it or something.
Yep. Okay. And yeah, that's it. That's all the stills from the movie. So let's um let's move on to the I guess post production pictures. Let's see what I have. I have a collection here. Some of these photos are from Brandon Constant himself. So yeah, behind the scenes is Stan Winston. Um, Very interesting shot. This is the one that's not the one at Islands of Adventure. This is I don't know what happened to this one. This is like missing.
I can't see it.
Oh my
It's
bad. There you go. How about that?
mm-hmm. All right. Oh yeah. That's the
Somebody
yeah
says um that Jurassic Park. What is
sliders.
the
Okay.
command
So
place, the command center that they went into is in Sliders. It's in an episode of
okay,
Sliders.
that was it. I know it was a TV show or something. Yeah, I know they used it for other things.
That's interesting. Yeah, when I last went to Hollywood, I think it was in 2000. I think 2000, no, was it 19? Was it 19? Yeah, I think 2019 was the last time I went, and I was on the backlot tour, and you can see very, very little. You can see the set of the Lost World of that building, but now it's gone, so that's too bad. Okay, so this is the Unimog. As this is how it currently sits. This is sitting in the backlot of Universal
Well,
Orlando.
mhm.
Yeah, you can see the Unimog here. This is the other side, whatever Wayland Utaniko is. But
No,
apparently they're
that's
building better
that's
worlds.
Aliens.
Oh, okay.
It was a Halloween Horror Nights
Okay.
themed house.
Yeah, so as you can see, it's still in fairly original condition, and I think it still runs, right? I heard that it still actually runs.
Yeah, according to Phil, it still runs. I think Phil may have been involved with this house. This was a like a Aliens house
Okay.
from a few years ago, and he said it still runs.
Yep, and there it goes. This is I remember back when this looked like this back in the '90s. One of the last photos of it still looking original. Still has the engine logo on there. Again, here goes another custom vehicle. Uh, you think this was Roland's? Roland Timbo?
I these I don't know.
I mean, it's so difficult because they're all. I think this might have been. Maybe has this roll cage is so interesting.
Yeah, it's got like a hydraulic little
Yeah,
uh,
the door.
the hood support. You know,
It looks like
tailgate
they
tailgate
bolted
support,
the
shock.
door. Looks like they bolted the door down right there. It has like little bolts on it.
Oh yeah, people getting
Yep.
into it.
This is inside of the ML. How old are these photos? These are yours, right?
No, I forget who. Someone sent these to me. I forget who it was. It was on. I want to say like 2, 3 years ago. It wasn't that long ago.
Okay. Yeah, and you can see, like I said, oops. You can see right here. How do I do this? Oh, you can see right here. You can see right here the bolts, how it detaches. This is Islands of Adventure in Orlando at Universal. You can see it's designed to detach. You can see it here. There's like these little cuts. You can see here how it detaches with the bolts. And Brandon said that it looks like when he last, well, one of the times that he saw it, you remember seeing like cut some welds or something, right, to kind of patch it up.
From the outside, like the paint is like kind of failing. You can
Oh
kind of
yeah.
see. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you can see it's like. You can see the line a little bit, can't you? Yeah, right
It looks like they welded it, and the welds are rusting. It's like
or
looking causing some
something.
sort of bubbles or something to rust.
Yeah. I mean, like when it hit the park, there was a cut there.
Yeah.
But at some point, to make it more presentable for the theme park, they had like filled it in.
That's kind of weird, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe because
Well,
it
I mean,
was leaking in too much water or something. I don't know.
well, they just make it look better. Like they try, right?
They
They
did
try.
try. They did try. I'll give them that. But you can see right here that's it doesn't have the little cups.
It's got screws for the.
Yeah, it's
It's
just
screwed
screwed
into
in,
the door.
screwed into
Yeah.
the panel there. Um, and yeah, you can see right here the cuts as well. So it detaches, and you can see there's cuts right here as well. So the whole roof can detach, and then you can actually see this bar. I don't know if this is original still, but you can see that
I don't
bar in
know.
the shots, in the interior shots in the movie.
Oh, you can in the movie? Okay, I didn't really.
Yep. Yeah, you can see there's a bar right here, and then you can see
I don't
this
know what
manual
for.
as well. But all this thing is covered up with some weird wood paneling. Is this the correct color interior of Eddie's scene? No,
The
right?
door panel looks like it's been changed. That
Yeah.
looks like it's been like the door panels look like they've been
Because I know
like
the shots of the interior. Well, there's two interior shots of Eddie's scene, so I'm not sure which. And there's two MLs that were used for that scene, so yeah, I'm not too sure.
mm,
I gotta look again at the colors.
yeah. There's so many more variables for these trucks than the first movie. I mean, there's just so
Yeah.
many little things.
So this is the RV. I guess this is the gimbal back here that was used to flip over and off the cliff.
And the like looks like two trailers, right?
Yeah.
Two trailers.
I guess they were both flipped over. They both look pretty bad. This one looked like it's been flipped over. And I remember I went in '97. I'm sorry, I went in '98 to Universal Studios as a kid, and I remember seeing these. It was dark. It was nighttime, and I remember seeing these and just like being starstruck and telling myself, "Whoa, this is that awesome RV from one of my favorite movies." and it just, I mean, I little did I know that a good 20 years later, and I'm gonna start building these movie cars myself. So it was, I mean, it was definitely looking at something that really was astonishing. So this photo's several years old. Years old. You know how old this one is?
It's gotta be the '90s. Yeah, and just for the record, like I miss that boneyard too. Like that
Yeah.
gravel
Yeah.
stone area. Like that was so cool just seeing those old movie props. Like even for movies I really didn't care about too much. Like
Yeah.
I remember when I went as a kid, they had like Casper and like the
Hmm.
Flintstones and like all these movies, that I kind of liked, but it was so cool seeing the actual props. But
Yeah.
we've talked about this before, but Universal has moved away from that. They're not so
Yep.
much behind the scenes
Sadly,
of the
yeah.
movies,
Yeah. Not about the movies anymore. They're just about the
action,
rides, and
the
yeah,
rides. Yeah,
that's
it's not so
unfortunate.
much.
I do miss
Yeah,
those days where it was about the movies. Like the whole behind the scenes and how they. I remember back then they would like even film or pretend to film movies with like the
yeah.
audience, like earthquake or disaster or whatever it was. Uh,
Even the Mummy. Up until
yeah,
the Mummy, like the whole queue line for the Mummy is meant to be a production,
I
right?
remember that. I do remember
The
that.
mold, it's still like that today, like the molds and stuff. Like it's
Yeah,
meant to be, but yeah, like nowadays they're not doing that. It's all, immersion and you're in the movie.
yeah.
The whole
I
behind.
do miss the behind the scenes stuff, and I do miss the props. I miss the boneyard
Hmm.
where they had a bunch of props and vehicles, and hopefully one day they return to that. But I mean, it doesn't really seem like. And this fencing is nice. This will definitely help keeping people from
Yeah,
really trying to get close to them with because they just use ropes right now for the Jeep and
right.
Explorer, and people don't really respect that as much
Yeah,
as
and
they
for
should.
and for people watching, this whole area right here is the Boneyard, which now is a theater. It's like a grassy area. I don't know
Yeah, this is
if you
right by the Jimmy Fallon ride, right?
it's yeah, it's
It's between
like
Jimmy Fallon and Rip Ride Rocket.
yep, exactly. Like it's kind of out front of Rip Ride Rocket there. And there's a big stage here and like a grassy area where you can sit and watch concerts and stuff. But that used to be the Boneyard. That used to be where they had all the props and stuff.
And
And
they,
it's
I mean, do
it's
they ever even make concerts? Like, I feel like I've never seen anything happen on there.
at night,
I
yeah, they
know of
do.
like Mardi Gras, they do concerts there.
Yeah, every night, yeah. I mean, it's honestly, I mean, you can't, knock Universal too bad because I'm sure that's a better use of the space
Yeah. Well,
financially.
and I get it, but there's got to be an
But
area where they can do stuff like this. Like, I mean, put it
yeah,
in queue lines of certain rides,
or
like
something.
the
Yeah,
Jurassic
they
Park
could do
stuff.
some. Yeah, they
I
could
mean, the
probably find
Jurassic
some
Park
way.
area is pretty empty. I know they're building the ride and they're really revamping it, but I mean, I feel like there's so much room over there for to put these vehicles in like safe places, or even like put like a little, um, like a little museum, like they used to, like the behind the scenes stuff back in the day.
I kind of like Hollywood Studios. The
Yeah,
what's that restaurant called? They like the Roger Rabbit props and like what I'm talking about? I think it's the Hollywood Studios in Disney. I
there's
forget.
they
It's like
have
a
props and.
yeah. It's a quick service restaurant,
Are you talking
but
about
they
in the corner where Star Tours is?
no. Oh my God, what's it called? It's like a quick service restaurant, but it's themed like behind the scenes movie stuff. Because like Hollywood Studios just used to be the same way. Like they were kind of mimicking Universal, right? I mean
Yeah.
they were kind of copying each other. So Hollywood Studios used to be more focused to like behind the scenes stuff.
Hmm.
And that quick service restaurant is still there from the like old times.
Well, I didn't know about that. You didn't. You
And
haven't taken me, Brandon. Why
yeah,
don't you
and
take me?
they have. I mean, they're not like great movie props. I mean, it's not like stellar stuff, but
Yeah.
they have like Who Framed Roger Rabbit? You remember
Okay.
that, right?
Yeah.
Or a movie? They had a bunch of props from that. There's like a little motorcycle thing that they used as like they like CGI'd a car over top of it, but
Yeah.
like
Okay.
so they have that there where you can actually sit on it, which is kind of cool because
Cool.
it's like a modified motorcycle.
I'm gonna have
But
to look that up because I've never seen it before.
yeah, no, it's cool. Like they actually have some movie props and stuff, almost like a Planet Hollywood, like
Yeah.
a mild Planet
I
Hollywood.
still remember when Hollywood Studios had over in Disney had that backlot tour. Man, that was
Yeah,
amazing, and they even had the prop warehouse. Like that was awesome. They had like the
yeah,
shrink ray from Honey,
Back
I
to the
Shrunk the
Honey, I Shrunk
Kids.
the Kids. Yeah,
And then
yeah.
also they even had like the Binford modified lawnmower that Tim Allen used in Home
Oh, they
Improvement.
didn't. Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't know.
super awesome, man. I loved it.
Oh, that's
I love
cool.
that area. And then now it's gone. Now oh, Star Wars took over, of course. Star Wars always
Yeah.
takes over everything. They ruin everything.
Star Wars and Harry Potter.
Harry Potter, you too. Okay,
Hmm.
let's move on to the next image. Okay, so another one. We have another. This is so cool. Oh, this is I don't think I ever really noticed these lights and. Huh. Maybe certain ones have that light. These type of lights. You
Which ones?
think the ones that are like kind of.
The headlights?
Yeah.
I think they all have that. I think
They
that's
all have
yeah.
that. It's kind of interesting. I never really noticed that. Um. Yeah, this is just the regular one where the door opens up. I don't think anything swings out of it.
No, I think the one that with the door that slides out has the
Yeah, it
fiberglass
has
like
like that big wide
body.
fiberglass body. So this is
Yeah.
right next to the Discovery Center over in Jurassic Park area. There's some more interior shots of Eddie's ML. You can see the bolts right here, the cut right here, so the roof comes detaches. And then Unimog photos. Another one, same one. Some dude surfing.
So this is overseas. I think this is Japan. I
I
think.
think it might with that light
Yeah,
post.
and I don't know if this is still there. This might be gone. I
I
don't
think
like.
I tried to look like on Instagram or something in their with the checked in photos that people post, and I think I was trying to look for it, and I don't think I ever saw anybody take pictures of this. So
I
yeah,
have not seen recent pictures of this Jeep.
yeah,
It like they're all old. So I don't know.
yeah. That's too
Nobody
bad.
knows.
Yeah. I do want to go to Universal Japan, man. So bad. That one in Singapore. Those two seem like a lot of fun, but
Yeah. So
especially
like
those unique rides they have there for Jurassic Park.
yeah, and some of these pictures I don't know if they're Japan or Singapore. I don't know. I'm just kind of like grouping them into the overseas
Yeah. Yeah,
category.
I'm gonna
Like
have to
I don't.
look it up. I'm sure there's gonna be pictures of these type of light posts
Yeah.
somewhere. And then again, one of the last photos of the Unimog still in the original engine paint.
I took these pictures
There you
at
go.
yeah. There's a few here. I took some interior pictures and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, this is right by the SpongeBob area, huh? Oh,
It's like
oh
in the
no, no, no. I'm
it's in
sorry.
the
This
front.
is yeah, this is
It's like
Nickelodeon Studios right here.
yeah. It's the
This is
entrance.
back
It's
when
like
Nickelodeon Studios was still Nickelodeon Studios. Yeah, this is not even inside the park yet, right?
no, that's not Nick Studios. No, this is in like just inside the park. Like
Because I see the
I
Blue
forget.
Man Group right here. I would assume
Well, Blue Man Group replaced
that's right. That's right. They
Nick
replaced it.
Studios.
So what's
So
this?
this was like 2008 or 9 when I took these pictures.
Okay.
It's like right inside. Like you walk. Phil, if Phil's still on here, I mean he would know for
Okay.
sure.
Yeah, yeah.
But I forget the names. Like all the roads have names in Universal, but it's like right when you walk in, pretty much. It was on display there. It was for Horror Nights, I believe,
Okay.
but it was daytime, so it was like just kind of normal. I think that thing up there is a fog machine.
Oh, I
See
see a
that
I
barrel?
see a
Yeah,
little whip antenna right here.
a
A
ball
ball
mount.
mount.
Yeah,
Ball mount.
but yeah, that blue barrel. I think
Oh
that thing
yeah,
up
a
there is a
giant fog
fog
machine.
machine. So yeah, this at night would have been a like a little scene, but during the day it's just kind of parked there.
Oh,
Which is why I took these pictures. But yeah, that's the engine Jeep. I wish I would have got better pictures of these. But see, like when I took these pictures, I was building the my Wrangler at the time. These are from like 2008, so I wasn't super focused on getting a bunch of pictures, and I was kind of stupid. I didn't think to like, oh well, these things might be gone one day. I should take a bunch of pictures. But
says
I
like D Dikuzi
yeah
Racing or something.
yeah someone sticker bombed it. It's like
Nice, of
yeah.
course.
But yeah, I took a couple of pictures of what I could,
This
but
windshield is made out of wood. It's made out of plywood.
wood, yeah. I know I would put like I would not do wood. I'd probably do like PVC or something,
Something that won't
plastic or something,
get ruined after a few
and then
years.
also do like a plexiglass like insert too.
It's
To
so
like,
weird because I mean they go through the trouble to do everything else, but like the windshield's like, all right, let's just cut it out of wood.
well, it's only gotta look good for like a couple weeks, right?
Yeah, and you can see the YJ dashboard here. No air conditioning.
Yeah.
And my favorite photo. I remember taking a picture right next to this one here when I went in '98, and I was a wee lad, and I remember seeing it so excited. And I was so happy, and I took a picture right next to it. I think I even leaned up against it. I was so happy, and took a photo of that. And that photo is gone. I no longer have that photo, but I do have a photo with the train of that on that same trip. The train to the Back to the Future Part 3. So I do remember having that. And Brandon did mention something earlier about the roof on this one.
Hmm.
It has the roof of one of the which ML is this one? Like just the regular one with the bubble roof, right?
It's either the what Montana or the Fontana,
Fontana or both?
right? Because this one here is Santana, right? So
Santana. Yeah,
so
yeah.
obvious.
The Fontana. I think the Fontana and the Montana have the same roof, I believe.
So obviously they had an extra roof laying around or
Yeah.
something, because this pickup never had that roof, and it's got it here. So it must have been an extra one, maybe a spare,
Yeah.
maybe a whatever.
And you can tell this is the one that's still sitting out of Adventure. Obviously, it's different condition, but man, this fender is trashed. It has a huge dent in it. That's probably why the bars are missing. Probably because they had to fix the fender and we're like, screw it, get rid of the bars.
I don't know. Something happened.
Yeah, and man, it sucks that this doesn't look like this anymore. But yeah, you can see all the cuts. You can see the cut right there. Again, no cupping right there, no cup, and then the cut right there, and then underneath this there should be a cut right along the A pillar there. But yeah, it's too bad that this doesn't look like that anymore. And then the hardtop one again still has the little whip
I, li-
antenna.
yeah, I like that one actually. I think it's probably my favorite
Is
one.
that
The
is that
hard
he,
top.
is that here? Is that in Orlando?
No, that's like Singapore or Japan. Like I said,
Okay.
it's one of the
Yeah.
overseas ones. I'm not sure which one it
Oh,
is,
that's
but
right. That's right. Oh, and this
yeah.
is a little old, not a little older, right? Because it still had the little winch mounting plate right here.
Yeah, but they had removed the bumper for some reason. I don't know. Maybe I don't know why.
Hard to replace that fender and repaint it or something. I don't know. That looks terrible
Yeah,
without the front end.
it's a shame, man.
That front end looks terrible. I mean, this looks sad. Actually, looks pretty pathetic, but yeah, that's too bad. More interior shots. Here's those shocks that hold the door open.
Hmm.
Little mirrors the very bottom down there.
The non-Sahara steering wheel, the
Yeah, yeah. Then
non-leather one.
yeah, then
It,
it doesn't have the leather wrapping
is
on
it
those
is
spokes.
it's at least the newer horn pad though. You see that? It's not the
Hmm.
older, like
Yeah,
what 91 or older,
yeah.
the
It's probably just a base model Jeep Wrangler.
Wrangler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is
Oh,
my
that's smart.
my son right here, staying
Hmm.
next to this Jeep. So we think that this Jeep is probably the one that extends outwards, huh? That
It looks like it has the fabric, like zoom all the way in.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, it has like
It looks
that
like it
wide
has that little
for
fiberglass
sure.
body.
100% it has the fiberglass body.
Yeah.
So
And
this is the one that yeah. And I don't remember seeing this Jeep getting destroyed, so I don't know why it looks like this.
so yeah, we talked about this earlier. Either it was for the theme park, like
Ugh.
they just did that to it because they didn't want, I don't know. Or it was like a set dressing that they never used, or maybe it's in the background where you can't see it.
Hmm.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
this seems like it'd be probably the more expensive one or the more custom one that to for them to destroy it like that. I would think they would get like just like a basic one, like the other one that we saw. I don't know, but yeah, for sure this is. I don't know. It kind of looks like I don't think. It kind of looks like it was done for the movie because it's pretty badly destroyed. Like it looks like they probably did it themselves, maybe flipped it or something.
Yeah.
That's too sad. Too
It like
sad.
it could be to make it where it would never drive again,
Yeah.
Like make it where it's not a liability, make it where it's undrivable.
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, like who knows why they do
They
these
have
things.
their reasons that
They do, yeah.
don't make much sense to me, but yeah, apparently that's. I mean, they did it for for some reason. So, that's our last image on these.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. There's a couple we're missing. Like there's a couple ones that I wanted to show, but I have things saved on my phone. I have things saved on my multiple
mhm.
computers. But these were some of the more interesting ones, I guess.
I do have some images from some of the people that are watching that sent some in. Let me pull those up real quick. Um, doom, 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 doom. Okay, so this is sent in from. You can see who was watching our show here. It's a screenshot. This is Corey. Corey sent these images in. That's not one. This one here, yeah, this is when he went to Hollywood a couple of years ago. He said so. This is the condition it's in. Looks like it's been repainted, but it still looks
I
pretty swampy.
I yeah, my screen hidden. I can't see it.
Oh, sorry. How about that? Is that
Yeah.
better?
Oh, okay. Yeah, they got the fog effect going and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. That's poor vehicles. And then we have also. Let me pull these back up again. Okay, then we have Steven Stone. So Steven Stone has been working has built an ML that looks, I mean,
Oh
fantastic.
yeah, it looks great. Yeah, it looks great.
So yeah, this one's man, just these are so this is Steven Stone's, and this one is I forgot your name. Is it Papeton, I believe. I'm sure he's gonna eventually say yeah, that's mine. But so yeah, so these two guys are, I think they live fairly close to each other, which is pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool that they both can kind of get together like this for photo shoots.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I'm glad they were able to join the chat too,
Yeah.
because like this is what
Yeah,
we
for
were
sure.
like we were wanting people that had attempted or in process or have
Mhm.
built these vehicles, because it's definitely few and far between. It's not as common as for sure the Jeep. The Jeep is, or the Wrangler from the first movie is the most popular, but
Yep.
this is even less popular than the Explorer to do, because it's so custom. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it looks like maybe his bars in the front are made from some sort of piping. I don't know if it's like PVC piping or something here. Bumper also is kind of looks some sort of thin material. I wonder what they used. So Steven Stone, just chime in whenever you can on how you made like the bumper here, how you made the little tubing here for the front end and the rear, and also how you made the side step as well.
Yeah, like in my mind, the tubing around the headlights is probably the hardest part to do.
Hmm.
It's just
Yeah.
looking at it, because they gotta match, like you know, and you can't really mold that or anything. I mean, you could, but like it'd be
He says they're all fence piping.
okay. That's gotta be tough to
Yeah,
mold those.
to bend that.
It reminds me of the flux bands on like the DeLorean builds.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
I, have you heard about that? Like how those bands that go around
Yeah.
the DeLorean, those are the hardest parts to do, because you have one shot at it basically. If you make a wrong bend, or you bend it at the wrong point, it's kind of, you're screwed.
He says that the bumpers are sheet metal, bent and formed.
Nice. Yeah, which I mean that's gotta be how they did it for the movie. But like I said, since some of them are fiberglass, I think they made one perfect one and just copied it.
Hey,
I mean
Steven
that makes
Stone, how did you make the platform for the winch? What is that made out of? See the boxes. The boxes look pretty good. They look pretty close.
yeah, not bad at all.
I see you took out the little window here.
The
Hey,
window, yeah.
Steven Stone, do your windows roll up? Do you have any windows left, or do you just remove them completely? And are you going to cut the top so you can pull the top off? That'd actually be kind of cool if you can go topless, completely topless in this vehicle. Kind of interesting. Cut everything off.
Oh, diamond plate. Okay, yeah.
Diamond plate, yeah. I see the
Yeah,
diamond
there's
plate.
so much custom metal too. Yeah, like even on the inside, there's diamond plate on the inside
Mhm.
that you have to like. I mean,
I would
I
just
guess
like
yeah.
rhino line it or something, bed line it, the interior. That's what they did at. I mean, that's what they eventually ended up doing at
Yeah.
the one in Universal Orlando.
But I think the hero one was supposed to be diamond plate though.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think so.
that was supposed
I
to be
I, I
how
think
it.
I remember seeing them diamond plated.
Yeah. Well, the one that Ari took pictures of
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
all diamond plate. And it well apparently so they make aluminum diamond plate by the way, which is a little easier to bend and work with, but still a pain in the ass. Sure.
Yeah, he's saying that the side steps are truck running boards extended with diamond plate. Boxes are a work in progress. Back windows do roll up, but the back part is missing. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, because you can't have it there, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's like a frame, so
I want to build one.
it would be fun. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, this
Like
look.
that would
Yeah,
be
it'd be very
that looks
interesting.
awesome. Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
great.
super cool. How about you trade and explore for it?
Ah, man, like if some of the parts weren't so rare in the Explorers, it would be easy to make. I mean, I have molds for most of everything, but like the running boards and just certain parts are just not out there.
Yeah. God, I want to build one so bad.
Yeah, like that would be like a cool like camping vehicle, like just to
Yeah.
like.
I just like how open it is. Like the
Mhm,
roof is completely open.
mhm,
It has like this gaping wide rear section. Yeah, just like how open it is. It get very very Jeep feel.
mhm. No, that'd be fun.
Okay.
That looks sure.
Um.
Oh yeah, he's got the netting on the
Yeah, on the
head vents. Yeah,
seats, on the head,
yeah.
on this. He has something on the seats. I'm assuming it's some sort of netting as well.
I think I've seen this before. Like yeah like stencil it or
You
drew it on
draw it
right
on
or
there.
something. I think which honestly really works though. I think I remember seeing this post. I think he posted about this somewhere. Because yeah, I mean otherwise you'd have to go to a custom
Yeah.
upholstery shop and have them like sew that in, which would be expensive.
These are cool. I want to build one day. I probably will eventually. When I have a garage, and a place to work on them.
Yeah, that looks great. Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, Brandon. Anything else that you want to talk? I think we're just about wrapping up here now.
No, I think we're good. Like I said, like I posted on my page, like we're not experts on these. I mean, we're
Yeah.
maybe slightly more knowledgeable than most people, but I mean, people that have started building these have definitely,
Yeah, they definitely did a lot more research
yeah,
than we have. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of the second movie. Um, Definitely the vehicles made the movie what it is. I think
mhm,
that was like the biggest thing, but for sure, like the movie should have ended before San Diego. They shouldn't have gone to San Diego. And it was I think it was supposed to end. It was supposed to end, with them getting off the island. And that's it. That's where it's supposed to end. But
well, it was supposed to be longer. Like that, the whole village worker scene was supposed to be longer. Like where like Nick basically calls a helicopter and they fly away. That was supposed to be like the Raptors were supposed to
should have
like,
been the end. Should have been the end. Because
well,
if you watch the
well,
San
not
Diego
not
scene, it
well,
seems
not the
so
end, but like
close
that
to the end. It should have ended
that
somewhere around
well
there.
that scene should have been longer, which is what it was proposed.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
that
Oh yeah, they
was
have. It was supposed to have like a workers' village. They're supposed to run through
yeah,
and do a bunch of other things
yeah,
through there.
and Raptors and the helicopter and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah. So
but
yeah, in the San Diego scene seemed so completely out of place. It's kind of random. Like, what the hell is going on? I thought the movie was over. What's happening now? So
yeah,
but other than that, like, I mean, the movie's fantastic. I think it has an interesting storyline to it. A couple very minimal cheesy parts, but I mean, look at those vehicles.
the gymnastic scene was
Yeah, that
kind of
was
cheesy.
kind of. They cut you from the team. It's not time
Yeah,
to joke right now, man. Let's get out of here. There's a bunch of dinosaurs about to eat you.
that was
But
very 90s like
yeah,
cheese.
yeah. So yeah. I guess we can wrap up now. So if you guys want a part three, obviously we're probably not going to do Jurassic Park part three because there's literally like three vehicles
in that movie. So I think there was like a boat, the tanker, the gas
Yeah,
tanker
it's not
thing,
that.
and then like a plane. So
Well,
and nobody
there,
likes Jurassic Park 3. Okay, so
there's like a suburban like run down.
Oh yeah, in the
Yeah, or something
engine
like that.
facility
Yeah,
place. Yeah, it's like
not
some suburban or something.
something.
Yeah, something old, ugly. Nobody really cares about.
I think yeah, Jurassic World would probably yeah. We could probably get it'd be a shorter
Yeah,
episode.
Jurassic World. Yeah, we'll definitely do a Jurassic World version. It'll probably be a little bit shorter, but it gives us a reason to all come together, hang out. Everybody's. I'm sure a lot of us are stuck inside. I have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, quarantine, trying to stay safe. Try not to leave my home or visit family or anything like that. So, I hope all you guys also are being very safe. Vigilant. Wash your hands. Be very careful with where you go. This thing is absolutely everywhere. I know it's in my I live right behind a grocery store that I always shop at, and I know like apparently like some of those workers have it, so it's definitely in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
So yeah, so just everybody be careful. Just keep yourself busy, do some crafting, work on your projects, or start a project. If you haven't, if there's a project you've been putting off. If you want to build a vehicle, go build a vehicle.
Or like even research too.
Yeah, you can
Like
start that.
yeah, you don't have to buy anything. You can just research. Like half the fun for me is research
Yeah.
and just figuring out things, and even if you don't build it, like these MLs, I might never build an ML. Like that's
Yeah.
very possible. But just researching it and just figuring it out is still fun. It doesn't cost anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Actually, I think I'm gonna since I've been having more time, I've been making more videos on my YouTube channel. Been doing these live shows. That's it's a lot of fun for us to do. I'm sure everybody is enjoying it, appreciating it. And also, I have a couple of footage that I've done that I took when I installed my ball mount, my rear taillights, and how I restored my front bumper. I think that's all I have. So I have those that footage I need to kind of edit and put together so I can put a couple of how-to videos over on my channel. So make sure you subscribe, guys, please. I'm trying to get my followers up, my subscribe count up. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do me the favor. Subscribe on my channel, and also if you hit the little notification bell, it'll notify you anytime. You'll be the first to know when I have a new video or when I go live or there's some sort of announcement. So, yes, I appreciate you guys hopping on. Brandon, do you have anything else to say?
No, like that's it. Like I said, just find some time, or find some cool things to do while we're in quarantine here. Like I
Yep.
said, research some cars. Even if you don't buy anything, just yeah, it's fun just to kind of window shop with this stuff. So
Yep. Absolutely. I absolutely agree. So, and then we're here as well if you guys need some some information and any advice and stuff like that, just shoot us, just message on Facebook or Instagram. Vic underscore, no, that's not my name. It's Jurassic underscore Vic. And then you can also check out Cyrix on Instagram, which is Cyrix.
9445.
That's right, guys. So
Yeah, I
I
know.
will see you guys in the next one.
All right, thanks guys.
Huh? Goodbye.